Good morning, everybody. We welcome you to the Paramvere Sports Complex in Atlanta, Georgia, site of the 2023 Atlanta Open. This is a high-stakes clash between the Raiders and the Lightning. Raiders having won the toss, Kevin Savage, captain, deciding to have a bowl. So the man with ball in hand is Pankaj Rao, delivering now to Unmuk Chand, opening batter and captain for the Lightning. This is Brian Walters. I'll be with you for the next several hours. Two different games scheduled for today. This game, again, this is the Lightning and the Raiders. Both teams very star-studded, big names on both sides, and it's going to be an exciting match. So pay attention, first of all, to this opening pair. Unmuk Chand is the opening batter, and his partner. We'll get that information as soon as possible. Apologies, you don't have the scorecard on your page just yet, but we'll get that as soon as possible. This is Lahiro Melantha is the opening batter. Oh, good-looking delivery, just passing outside the line of off stump. Trapping Melantha on the crease, playing relatively defensively, and that ball going through to wicketkeeper Hamza Tariq. Hamza Tariq, the former Canadian international, playing here in the Raiders setup. It's going to be an interesting game. Looking at the pitch before we started, a fair amount of grass on the middle of the pitch, but it's relatively hard. Scoring, I think, will be easier the second half of this match. I'll say why in just a second. As this is worked off the hip, it's going to be at least a couple down to deep fine leg. So I mentioned that the scoring might be a little bit more difficult in the morning. I think the pitch will play relatively true, but the reality is that there is a fair amount of grass on the pitch and there's a lot of moisture in the outfield. A bit of dew from overnight, so the ball will roll across the ground a little bit less easily at this time of the day. A little bit later on, after the first innings lasts for about 85 minutes, then about 15 minutes to switch over. So almost 2 hours, let's say a little bit more than an hour and a half between the conditions at the beginning of the first innings and the beginnings of the second innings. So by then, there will be a certain amount of time for the wicket to dry out. And so I think there will be conditions batting a little bit easier in the second half of this match, which is why I believe Captain Calvin Savage deciding to have a ball first. So relatively sedate start here with one ball remaining here in over number one. Pankaj Rao, right arm over the wicket, bowling now to the left-handed Lahiri Melantha. And we'll see how well he closes out here, as inside the power play overs, the first 6 overs of the match, the first 36 legal deliveries, only 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. See a change made where the sweeper goes out on the offside and deep third comes in. So expect something full outside the line of off. This one defended into the mid-wicket area. Relatively sedate close to the over. 4 runs coming from that first over. At the end of 1, it's 4 without loss. Four without loss, and it's going to be Javon Searles to take up the attack from the southern end of the ground, bowling to Unmuk Chand, right arm over the wicket, over the top of extra cover. This may have the legs to get to the boundary. Long run, in fact, it just slows down. And the fielder Sujith Gowda running away from deep point to make about 30 yards or so to his right to prevent that from going for a boundary. But I mentioned that the outfield is going to be because of the moisture. It's not as fast as it ordinarily is, and not as fast as it will be later on in the day. So that ball off the bat appeared to have had enough to get to the boundary, but it slowed down tremendously in that thick, wet outfield. So that will be something that you look for in terms of assessing whether or not the chasing side will have the chance to win this game, because it will be easy scoring in the second half of the game. And so my sense is that a score of about 140 effectively becomes a score of 120, because it will be easier to score in the second half of this game. Mukchand, former U19 India captain and superstar at that level in India, played professionally for a really long time, and then somewhere around 3 years ago made the decision to move to the United States to continue his cricket career, where he is among the league leaders in the minor leagues here in several categories. Mostly, even though it didn't score as heavily this year as he did in previous years, but always going to be a really stylish and accomplished batter. And then also featured in the Major Leagues tournament earlier on, in the inaugural Major League tournament in Dallas and in North Carolina in July of this year. So something to look for. Very solid player and a big game player. Generally plays his best when the stakes are the biggest. So pay attention to what he does here. Slowly starting out with the bat. Yet 3 from 3. This is worked into the leg side. Think they'll just get one. Sprint the first one hard like the coaches tell you, but I don't think realistically there was any chance to get anything other than that single. So relatively good start so far with the ball for Javon Searles, bowling over the wicket to the right-hander, and then noting now that he stays over the wicket to the lefty, so that creates an angle where the ball goes across. In fact, as soon as I say that, he switches to go. So slight change of attack, going around the wicket, slanting it in to Lahiru Melantha. Over his shoulder, Lahiru Melantha, deep square leg. That's one of 2 fielders outside, and in fact now there's a change as that fielder outside at deep third is coming in, and there is now a fielder coming down here in front of us at long on. So with this angle, right arm around the wicket to the left-hander, they're expecting Lahiru Melantha to play a big shot on this side of the field, on the onside. So pay attention to where that goes. Good ball, bouncing, and actually handled very well by Lahiru Melantha, keeping that one down. But yet another dot ball. So just 3 balls so far from over number 2. Score my given the fact that second would have to be somewhere around 150. That's what you'd want just to be more competitive in this match. Oh, interesting. Melantha taking a couple steps down, but in the end just defending Tanush Kenjige at back point. That completes over number 2. Good one. Only 3 runs coming from it. To open, second over to about to be bowled by Pankaj Rao in the air, and simple catch, taking that square leg. So short delivery, Pankaj Rao getting that one, actually not bouncing very high, just about chest height, deciding to go for the pull and not having it come off the way he wanted to, just spooning a pretty simple catch in the deep. And Sujit Gowda, who is a very good fielder, is not going to drop that one. A pretty simple catch for most levels of cricket. Sujit Gowda with the safest, or one of the safest pairs of hands that you'll see anywhere. So the first wicket goes down. Unmukt Chand After scoring 4 from 5, ends up picking out Sujit Gowda on the boundary. In fact, not even on the boundary. He was in from the boundary by about 5 yards. So Unmukhchan will be disappointed with that. He goes, and the captain disappears. It is the first wicket to fall, and that wicket falls in the third over of the day, the second being bowled by Pankaj Rao. He gets on the board, and that is the score from right where we are now, 7 for 1. So the new batter is Sagar Patel. Still have the left hand. In fact, no, we have the left-right combination still in effect because Sagar Patel is a right-hander. And now a change in plan of attack as we see a deep fine leg going into position. Really more of a backward square leg, but that implies that Pankaj Rao likes what he sees in the middle of the pitch. And this is worked down here to Sujit Gowda at deep fine leg, and that should just be 1. So successful start to the over here for Pankaj Rao, his second over. First delivery up that over, taking the wicket of Unmukhchan. He'll be happy with that. And again, his first over only went for 4 runs. So overall, he started out well with the ball. Scoring rate as of right now, it's maybe a little early to be looking at projections, but the scoring rate is 3.43. So bearing in mind, generally speaking, you want to have the opportunity to score more during the power play overs with only 2 fielders outside the circle. Oh, look at this, running off the outer edge of the bat. Not going to get to the boundary, but they'll get a couple. Good athletic sliding stop here, down here in front of us, Sunny Patel. I think that Lahiri Melantha played that intentionally, just opening the face of the bat and having that run just wide of the keeper. Diving attempt by Hamza Tariq, not able to get to it to his left. But let's give credit to Lahiri Melantha for playing that shot intentionally, just guiding it. Now, I think I'll see here on the replay internally. Yeah, looking at that, he intentionally opened the face of the bat. I don't know that he meant for it to go that close to Hamza Tariq, but ultimately was an intentional shot. Good ball, bang on target. You hear the big grunt from Pankaj Rao as he releases that ball. And for me, this angle at which he's bowling, right arm over the wicket to the left-hander, slanting it across him, is a good angle. And from that angle, you tend to find the outer edge of the bat. So I think that's what he'll be looking to do. And in fact, if we see here, Sunny Patel, who made that good sprint back toward to save 2 runs just now, I think he's going to be in action at some point with this angle because the ball is slanting across Lahiri Melantha. He'll be looking to find the outer edge of the bat. Big swipe and a miss. So maybe a little bit about the pressure of the moment is getting to Lahiri Melantha, who is a very good batter and a keeper, but as of right now, he knows that his team is only scoring at 3.5 runs and over, and we're almost halfway through the power play. So there is an urgency to take advantage of these conditions as long as you can, because 3 more overs and 1 more ball, and then you'll be out of the power play, and scoring becomes more difficult because there's more fielders allowed outside of the circle. So just wanting to take advantage of that opportunity. Here's the last ball of over number 3. In the air, nobody out there will get close to the boundary, and look at that, just getting past. I believe that's Rashil Ugarkar out there coming around and not able to get to it. So Lahiri Melantha does end up cashing in. Short ball used maybe once too often that time by Pankaj Rao. It got him a wicket, first ball of the over, but the last ball of the over with that short ball gets pulled away to deep mid-wicket for boundary. So 4 things out here in over number 3. 7 coming from the over. The score is 14 for 1. Javon Searles to continue. Good lifting delivery. That ball seemed to pick up pace after it hit the pitch. About chest high by Hamza Tariq. That's a good ball to start his second over, Javon Searles. First over only going for 3, and he has been instrumental in helping to build the pressure that I think eventually got the best of Unmukt Chand. Tall right arm fast bowler bowling to Sagar Patel. Oh, he almost chopped that on, and look at this athletic piece of work. And what is that? He got him. Oh my goodness, that's a great piece of work by Hamza Tariq. First of all, to dive to his piece of work, picking up the ball and firing Patel short crease, and exactly certainly down the wicket looking for that run, and that is excellent work by Hamza Tariq, the former Canadian international. And all of a sudden, a couple of wobbles here at the top of the lineup. The Lightning starting in sedate fashion, courtesy of some good bowling, and then definitely that spectacular piece of work by Hamza Tariq results in another wicket. So we're 2 down, 14 for 2, if you can believe that. Once again, I don't think you're going to be very happy looking at that if you're Sagar Patel, because he easily would have thought that that ball first would have gotten by the keeper and not able to, not only did it not get by the keeper, Hamza Tariq, but he had the presence of mind to, in one motion, pick up from the ground and throw from hit the seat of his pants and hit the stumps directly. So second wicket goes down, 14 for 2, and now the new batter is going to be Raymond Reifer. Raymond Reifer from Barbados, from the island of Barbados and the West Indies, played as recently as this year batting in tests for the West Indies, a test all-rounder. Also just featured in the recently completed CPL, Caribbean Premier League. Now Raymond Reifer is going to be asked to get his team out of a bit of a jam. A couple of wickets have been lost. You never want to lose too many wickets in the power play, because that essentially constricts the way that you can score the rest of the way, because then you have to mix aggression with caution. Immediately working this one off his hips, just going to be a single here. So immediately off the mark is Raymond Reifer. But I think you're going to have some, maybe, if not difficulty, at least apprehension about where you are right now. You've lost a couple of wickets here at the Lightning, and all of a sudden, to the extent that you want to sort of be aggressive the rest of the way, it restricts your ability to be as aggressive as you want. So now 2 left-handers at the crease. Lahiri Melantha, 9 from 11. In the air, I think I might have catch and practice here. And in fact, it clears me and goes away for 6. That is a brilliant strike that lands easily about 85 yards off of the bat. That is a great looking strike. And Lahiri Melantha, I think, has seen enough and wants to make sure that they take advantage of any opportunities to score during the power play. That is a brilliant strike right over not only the head of Long On, but also the head of the commentators. So a really good strike there. And that's a great way of being able to switch the momentum and get it back in the other direction. So we'll see exactly what response that Javon Searles has, because that was a brilliant strike right down the ground. And that does certainly change things. Here is the next delivery. Worked into the leg side. Do they want 2? They do, but they'll have to settle for that 1. So a good way to start, and making sure that if you're Lahiri Melantha, a lot depends on you now. You've been there for the longest, 15 from 12. Raymond Reifer only has faced one ball so far, and so you get the sense that much of the scoring responsibility may be up to Lahiri Melantha. Batters to come, certainly would see some of Calvin Savage himself. He's a very good batter. Jesse Bhutan can score runs. Ravindra Prasad, Junaid Siddiqui. All of them have the opportunity to score runs, and I think as of right now, you're going to want to make sure that you take advantage of all those opportunities. So that is the end of over number 4. The score is 22 for 2. So bowling change. First of the day, Gajanan Singh with the ball in hand from the northern end of the ground will be bowling to Lahiri Melantha. And you don't mind that. You understand exactly why the change was made, because there's 2 left-handers at the crease. Gajanan Singh is a finger-spinning right-hand bowler. So in other words, he's spinning the ball, turning it away from the left-handed batters. With 2 left-handed batters at the crease, that's not a bad option. First one going down the leg side, though. Needs to get that line right. Huge in the air. In fact, it will fall short of that fielder down at the boundary at mid-wicket. So 1 legal delivery ball so far. And that 1 legal delivery effectively yields 2 runs, considering the 1 for the wide. So Raymond Reifer now facing up to Gajanan Singh. Still 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. This is the 5th over, so another 11 deliveries. Short, and I'll tell you what, that ball kicked up a little bit off the surface, maybe just a touch of variable bounce. The 2 fielders outside are deep mid-wicket and long off. So Gajanan Singh is going to have to be very careful with both his line and his length. Very full. That's a good length to bowl under these circumstances. You cannot allow Raymond Reifer to get under the ball. So good couple of balls here after starting in wayward fashion. And Gajanan Singh, the middle order United States of America batter. In the air, it did not hit that the way he wanted to. Boy, a diving attempt. And they'll come back for the second. The throw is a little bit wayward. I'll tell you what, that you would not think that that would have yielded 2 runs. And Gajanan Singh would probably want to have had his fielder at short square leg. I think that's Rushil Ugarkar. Would have thought that he might have been able to get to it. The young man diving and just having it fall short of him. And they run 2 runs to boot. So a little bit of a bonus there. This will be a more conventional single, just punched into the leg side for a single. And yes, that was Rushil Ugarkar. There you see, just again looking at the replay, diving, it was just out of his reach, not quite able to get to it. Good over for Gajanan Singh so far, though. Just 5 runs coming from the over, with 1 to come. And again, worked into the leg side. And Rushil Ugarkar has had a little bit of work to do in this over. When you bring your spinner in during the power play overs and only give up 6 runs, that's actually a bonus. So, good economical over here for Gajanan Singh. The score after 5, 28 for 2. So double spin attack now, a change from the southern end of the ground as Sunny Patel will get to bowl his leg breaks at the two left-handers. Now, I believe, if I remember correctly, Sunny Patel is a leg spinner. In fact, there is a change because he will not be bowling his leg breaks because Captain Calvin Savage has made the decision to take the ball himself. Calvin Savage, tall right arm fast bowler, operating probably at 90% or maybe even 80% capacity because he had a bit of an injury yesterday. Doing a little bit better now, courtesy of great work done on him by a physio who's working the tournament, Miss Angela. But it will be interesting to see how he's able to handle the conditions. If he's 100% fit, you'd think he opens the bowling. Number one, because I think he's the best fast bowler they have by some distance. And number two, because he's a captain and he gets to say who bowls. So coming in here, first change from this end, from the southern end of the ground, opening the face and running it down to deep third for a couple. Good diving stop. That's a long run by that fielder inside the circle. I believe that is again Rushil Ugarkar, who's had the ball following him the entirety of the time that he's been here. Once again, the angle being created by the right-hander bowling over the wicket to the left-handers is one that almost asks the batters to play in that direction. Now this one is a little bit too straight, worked off his hip down to short fine leg. Certainly a single there that you'll concede under these circumstances. Anytime that you can just concede singles, you're doing well. Now bear in mind, as the scoring rate has picked up just a touch in the last couple of overs, 31 runs on the board, the scoring rate is 5.81. So that projects to a score of about 116. Outside the line of off, and for the first time we have an extra for the day. And by the way, that gives us time to introduce to you the two umpires. The umpire operating at the southern end of the ground is Everton Brooks, and the umpire who is currently standing at square leg is Sandeep Gondalekar. Two very experienced, two very capable umpires, as you'd expect in a tournament of this magnitude. So still 4 balls to come. Looking to run this again in that direction. There's a gap between short third and backward point. That is, it appears to be Nash Kenjige at short third, and again mentioned Rushil Ugarkar at backward point. I believe that's who those two are. In fact, yeah, Nash Kenjige is at backward point, and Rushil Ugarkar is short third. Outside off, and yet another wide. So no wides for the first several deliveries or the first several overs, and all of a sudden Captain Calvin Savage guilty of bowling a couple too far outside the line of off stump. Raymond Reifer is now 4 from 7. Lahiri Melantha 21 from 17. Good ball. That's exactly where he's trying to find. That length is short of driving length, and then that line right on that 4th stump line. That's exactly what you're looking for as the fast bowler bowling to the left-handed batters. So just one, make that 3 runs off the bat so far, and then the 2 extras means that the 6th over so far, the last one of the power play, has gone for 5 runs with 2 to come. Again, after this, you can be more defensive with your field settings. Again, another good ball on the right line, on the right length. 1 ball remaining inside the power play overs. And this is a good start with the ball so far for the Raiders. Again, they chose to bowl because under the conditions, moist, damp in the outfield, And I don't think the pitch will change that much, but for the reasons I mentioned earlier, I think batting gets better second in the day. So here's the last ball of the power play. Oh, goes fishing outside the line of off stump. Does not catch anything. 5 runs coming from Calvin Savage's first over. Great way to start for him. At the end of the power play, the score is 33 for 2. Not surprising that Gajanan Singh continues bowling. He's now outside of the power play, so he can be much more defensive. And again, he's still bowling to 2 left-hand batters. So that's a lovely looking strike. Absolutely brilliant strike by Lahiri Melantha. Chipping down the wicket to get to the pitch and striking it with the turn over extra cover. That is exactly what you're trying to do as a left-handed batter when you're facing up to a left or to a right-handed spinner, bowling from around the wicket, looking to slant that ball in, and any amount of turn, you're having that ball leave the left-hander. But the fact that he played with the turn means that it's a safer shot and hits it in the middle of the bat, flying away over extra cover for 4. Straight to this time, punched to mid-wicket, wanted to come back for a second run, but that's good work in the outfield. Excellent work. That is Nitish Kumar in the outfield, one of the best fielders that you'll see anywhere at any position. And in fact, there are 2 former Canadian internationals in this side, Nitish Kumar being one, Hamza Tariq being the other. Oh, Reifer up and over extra cover. This one goes much further than the one that Lahiri Melantha struck. Carries all the way past the rope for 6. That is a really good looking shot. And so Gajanan Singh, with a relatively miserly over his first outside the power play, only gave up 6 runs. 3 deliveries into his second over outside the power play, has already given up 11. That is a lovely looking strike from Raymond Reifer, again up and over. Similar shot to the one that was played by Lahiri Melantha, but this one hit with more power, and it carries all the way for 6 over extra cover. So just thinking about where the runs are going to come from, this pair, even though in theory the left-handers may be at a disadvantage facing up to the right-handed off-spinner, the reality is that these are 2 very capable batters, played at the highest level, of course, at least in Raymond Reifer's case. It's a better length, pulling the length back just a touch, making Raymond Reifer reach for that one. Gajanan Singh, who you will see bat later on, is a left-handed batter, just tremendously effective in the middle order, can score quickly, generally does score very quickly. No ball call, and it is worked into the leg side for a single, but more importantly, my goodness, you don't want to ever bowl a no ball, but at least if you're a fast bowler running in from 25 yards away, you can understand how that would happen. As a spinner bowling with a run-up of about 2 or 3 yards, you essentially cannot have that happen because, of course, if you don't know, the ball immediately following a no ball is a free hit. In other words, you cannot be out off of this next delivery, barring a couple of circumstances, but for the most part, this is a free hit. And Lahiri Melantha goes big down the ground, and he gets every bit of this over the in fact, over the side screen. Huge strike going right down the ground. So punishment here for Gajanan Singh for having overstepped. Once again, that next delivery is a free hit, and he takes full toll of it, going straight down the ground. By the way, that brings up the 50. 52 for 2 into the 7th over. This over already has cost 19 runs. So Gajanan Singh's first over only going for 6 with 1 ball to come here in the 2nd over. 19 runs already on the board. So much more expensive. And bear in mind, with the free hit delivery, had he not bowled a no ball, the over would have been ended with that last ball. But he needs to bowl an additional ball here because an over 6 legal delivery. So here's the last ball of the over. Well played and well run. Good response by Raymond Reifer immediately to call for that run. He was running to the danger end but knew that he had it covered. So an expensive over, easily the most expensive over of the innings so far. And at the end of 7, the score is 53 for 2. So Kevin Savage, captain with ball in hand, about to bowl his 2nd over. He will be looking to pull back this partnership from the Lightning that's actually blossoming very nicely. Lahir Melantha and Raymond Reifer have put on a few runs here. This is worked into the leg side. They may want to. No. Good work. Sujit Gado coming in from the ropes to make sure that that's just. It came together when the score was 14 for 2. And at 14 for 2, that means that they have now put on 39, make that 40 runs after that single. So you're going to want to just make sure that you continue scoring. Oh, good work behind the stumps again by Hamza Tariq. He saw him with a run out in off exactly. That's a similar delivery to that one. So very athletic behind the stumps and making sure that the batters are kept honest. Now, we're approaching the end. In fact, we've just started the 8th over, so it may not be too early to start talking about projections. In fact, we'll go through some projections after this ball. Reifer reaching forward and guiding this one behind point. A lot of work to do in the field, and 2 more runs. Raymond Reifer just guiding that one through. So as of that delivery, the score is now 56 for 2. 56 for 2 after 7.3. So that scoring rate of 7.47 projects to a total of 149. I said earlier that 150 or so would probably be par because of the effectiveness of this partnership that is now worth some 42 runs. They have gotten to the point where I would think 150 would be the minimum that they'd be looking for. So currently scoring at the rate of 7 and over, 7.14 and over, make that 7.3 and over. If they're able to score from here at the rate of 8 and over, they get to 155. 9 and over gets them to 167. 10 and over gets them to 179. Maybe somewhere between 8 and 9 and over is realistic. Lovely strike in the air. Oh, they picked out a fielder though. Oh, I missed it live that there's a fielder off. Completely missed that. And so maybe it wasn't quite as lovely a strike as I thought, certainly given the field setting. In the air, and never in 100 years is Nitish Kumar going to drop that. And so a really, really lovely partnership had been developing, but it ends courtesy of a lofted drive that initially off the bat I thought was going to be safe. Missed that there was a fielder deep long off, And they're just looking at the replay again. That ball was landing right in Nitish Kumar's lap. Never going to drop that. So the second wicket, make that the third wicket, goes down. Raymond Reifer scored well when he was there, 13 from 16. But he disappears, and that is the end of his day with the bat. 56 for 3 with 1 ball remaining here in over number 8. So 56 for 3, 1 ball remaining here in over number 8. Now the one way that you can slow down the scoring rate is wickets, because that puts you in the position where the new batter has to take time to get settled in. And that new batter is Jesse Bhutan, right-handed batter. So you lose, or in fact you do re-add the left-right combination. And Calvin Savage, the captain, again bowling at probably less than peak efficiency, but he's doing well enough here. 3 runs from this over so far, and 5 runs from his first over. 3 runs from this over here and a wicket. So Bhutan ready to face up to the last ball of over number 8. Short delivery. Oh, it's certainly off the edge. Maybe a lot finer than Bhutan was looking to play it. Gets it down to deep fine leg. Immediately off the mark with a single, but that's a successful over. Bowled by the captain, Calvin Savage. At the end of 8, the score is 57 for 3. So an expensive last over bowled by Gajanan Singh means that he is taken out of the attack. And we stay with spin from the northern end, where the evergreen Nush Kenjige takes up the attack. Kenjige, a left arm orthodox spinner, bowling around the wicket to Jesse Bhutan, who scored a single from the only ball that he's faced. Lahiri Melantha opening the batting, standing at the non-striker's end, 34 from 22. It's a good start with the bat from him, and put together a good partnership with Raymond Reifer before Reifer was just dismissed. It's a good start with the ball, and we'll see exactly how he does here. Nush Kenjige generally is very difficult to score off of, and he's looking to turn that ball away from Bhutan, the right-handed batter. Played off the back foot. Oh, fumble and a quick run. I tell you what, the oldest rule in cricket, never run on a misfield. But they took on that fielder, that is Sunny Patel, standing a short cover. Fumbled it, didn't collect it cleanly. Fired a throw to the non-striker's end, but luckily for the Lightning, Bhutan got to that end in time. So good start with the ball here for Nush Kenjige, now bowling to the left-hander, so looking to do something different. This is worked into the leg side, wanting more than that one, but that's all they'll get. So with the left-hander, he stays around the wicket, so probably looking to bowl a very full length and spear the ball in toward his toes, because from that angle, if that ball is any bit short of length, then it becomes a free hit. I don't mean a free hit in the sense that he can't be out. I mean it's a ball that's easier to score off of from around the wicket. So now still operating around the wicket to the right-handed Jesse Bhutan. And this is going to be yet another single. So good start with the ball here for Nush Kenjige. Just one ball remaining here in over number 9. And we're getting, again, we talked about the projections earlier. When Raymond Reifer and Lahiru Melantha were going, you got the sense that they may just have had the opportunity to get a big score on the board. It doesn't happen, and when you take wickets, the scoring rate slows down. That should be the end of the over. It is a single to close things out. Just 4 runs coming from that over by Nush Kenjige. Score after 6, make that after 9, is 61 for 3. Captain Calvin Savage takes himself off after 2 very good overs. One where he only conceded 5 runs. The second where he conceded even fewer runs, 3, and took a wicket. So good start with the ball from him. He's handed the ball to his young pacer, Rushilu Garkar. Rushilu Garkar, a member of the Dallas Mustangs, the championship-winning Dallas Mustangs, now playing here. In the air, nobody out there. That was short mid-wicket or mid-off inside the circle. Lahiru Melantha just lofting it over that fielder inside the circle at mid-off, and it goes away for 4. So Rushilu Garkar immediately being treated with disdain by Lahiru Melantha, who's been there now for some 25 deliveries. He's up to 40 from 25. And looking at his exact figures, 40 from 25 with 3 4s and 2 6s. So one gets the sense that much of what happens from here in terms of the final score will depend on whether or not Lahiru Melantha is able to stay there. Worked past the bowler himself. I think all they'll get is 1, and that's exactly all they'll end up with. Rushilu Garkar bowling generally with good pace. And interestingly, we see that there's a long off, or make that long on, that's dropping back on the boundary. That is Nitish Kumar. Just looking to make sure that if there is any such opportunity to score down the ground, that the big shots are cut off. Now, to the extent that you have a partnership that is blooming, 66 runs on the board, and this pair came together when the score is 56. So 10 runs already from the partnership, but you get the sense that it could be much more than that. Rushilu Garkar is going to have to be careful here. Full and driven down the ground again to Nitish Kumar, standing on the boundary at long on. So we are halfway through over number 10. A score of 67 for 3 projects right now, given a scoring rate of 7.05 to 141. Do you want more than that? Yes. I suggested that par is probably 150. Rushilu Garkar staying over the wicket to the left-handed Lahiru Melantha. Here he is again. Short of length. One person appealing, that is the keeper. And then he's joined in by a couple of fielders, including one down at deep point. So I'm, I'm not sure they knew what that came off of. But umpire Everton Brooks is not moved. So a dot ball here. 2 balls remaining now in over number 10. And good bowling for the last several overs. Despite the boundary that was conceded, Rushilugarkar has made a good comeback. Again, just advancing down the track one step, Lahiri Melantha. But Rushilugarkar doing the right thing, shortening his length. And now just 1 ball remaining before we're at the halfway stage of the innings. And this is a good fight back. Again, the partnership between Raymond Reifer and Lahiri Melantha was very positive and generated a lot of momentum, but that has been reversed. Oh, what a shot, whipped away in the deep, but there's a man down there. Look at that catch. Excellent looking catch, running to his left and picking that one. I think that's Akarshit Gomel down there on the boundary, running to his left, and that is a body blow because that catch has taken and gotten rid of Lahiri Melantha. 41 from 28. 2 4s, make that 3 4s and 2 6s. But his dismissal, and you see his reaction walking off, he knows that to some extent this might have seriously dented the team's chances of getting a good score here. Again, just looking at that replay, that ball was whipped away into the deep. Not much power in the shot. It was more timed well than powered away, but it stayed in the air too long as far as Lahiri Melantha is concerned. And it takes a really good catch from from Akarshit Gomel running to his left, Rushilugarkar the bowler, and that takes care of the man who has been most destructive with the bat so far. So yes, this is a big body blow landed here by the Raiders. So we'll see how we go from here. Another wicket down. The score is 67 for 4. So into the second half of the innings, Jesse Bhutan is now the senior partner, 4 from 6. This is Nash Kenjige continuing to bowl from around the wicket to Bhutan. By the way, the new batter is Dexter Sween. Reverse sweep. Oh, asking the question is Hamza Tariq. Umpire Sandeep Gandolekar is unmoved, but a couple of dot balls to start over number 11. This is a good start by Nash Kenjige. Run rate now down to 6.48. Single taken here, and that brings Dexter Sween on strike. Dexter Sween is a hard-hitting all-rounder, right arm fast bowler, and a big-hitting right-handed batter. Then, with only 57 balls remaining in the innings, 4 wickets down, and those 4 wickets would have represented much of the scoring potential for this Lightning side. So you have some concern there if you are the Lightning. Good delivery, played into the offside for no run. Nash Kenjige, left arm finger spinner, certainly played for a very long time for the United States of America. Played for the recently completed minor league season for the Dallas Mustangs. So he won the championship as well the other night. And then also featured in major leagues for MI New York, where he also did very well. So very experienced cricketer. Going past the outside edge. In fact, it kisses the outside edge, and he is given. Dexter Sween does not think that he is out, but that does not matter. The umpire has already made his decision, and he has to go. And immediately you see that he's taking his own sweet time to leave, and match officials will not be happy with that. Once again, this is the sport of cricket. If you are given, it's not exactly a negotiation. You have to walk off, and he's still now beckoning or trying to plead his case to umpire Gunderlecker. It will not make a difference. Taking his own sweet time walking off, I think, will only end up drawing the ire of the match officials, because once again, once you're dismissed, whether or not you think that you were out is not really part of the conversation. The umpires have already made their decision. In fact, that is the last ball of the over. So good way to end the over by Nosh Kenjige. That is the end of 11. 1 run coming from that over and a wicket. So great start with the ball for Nosh Kenjige. 2 overs so far have only cost him 5 runs, and he's taken a wicket. Rushilu Garkar to take the ball up again from the southern end. Will be bowling now to Jesse Bhutan. And all of a sudden, you're slipping further and further away from respectability here if you're the Lightning, because you've lost a lot of wickets in a very short of time. And here we see exactly what happens with this next passage of play. Rushilu Garkar, pace bowler. And the typical reaction of a pace bowler when wickets are falling is to bowl more quickly. So look to see how he chooses to attack Jesse Bhutan here. Lovely looking strike down the ground. That's a good piece of fielding though, Sunny Patel. Look at that. Brilliant piece of work. Sprinting to his left right here in front of us to limit the damage to 1 run. So that brings Ravendra Prasad on strike. Right-handed batter. And several body blows have been landed in the last few minutes. So you're going to want to make sure that you continue taking wickets. Oh, chip down the ground for a single. So as I started saying, you want to make sure that you continue taking wickets if you are the Raiders, because you sort of have the opportunity to land a knockout blow. On the other side of things, the Lightning just need to focus on continuing to score. You can do it in singles, at least for the time being. You don't necessarily need to hit 4s and 6s at this stage, but the idea is to keep the scoreboard ticking. 71 runs on the board. Hammered away. That's going to be 4. Gave him the width. Rushilu Garkar bowling that one too short and too wide. And you see it is pounced all over. Hammered. You heard the really good sound coming off the bat. And those are welcome runs for the Atlanta Lightning. Jesse Bhutan now up to 10 from 11 with that 1 boundary. In fact, with 2 boundaries. One boundary, apologies. Next delivery, better length and better line. Fuller length and a straighter line, so that takes away that scoring option in that direction. That's a good looking shot, but no run there. So 1 ball remaining here in over, make that 2 balls remaining here in over number 12. Garkar dropped to short third, no run, and just 1 ball remaining now back end of over number 12. So you're looking now at another 49 balls remaining in this innings. 49 balls. You're scoring right now at the rate of 6.25. So that projected score is all 125. Looking at a score of around 148 is what I suggested earlier, around 150. 9 and over to get to the score of 148. Play it off the back foot behind square. They should get, no, they just get one. Good athletic work in the deep. Wayward throw, but can't get exactly the position to get another run. So that is the end of over number 12. 7 runs coming from that over. The score after 12 is 70, 5 for 5. We're going back to the pace bowler, Javon Searles. First delivery here in over number 13 is a dot, so you're down to your last 47 balls. And again, for the last several overs, the Raiders have been applying the squeeze. Scoring has become more and more difficult, and that run rate has dipped. Now it's all the way down to 6.16. Looking to apply the knockout blow here. Ooh, good ball. Just passing the outside edge. Good carry through to wicketkeeper Hamza Tariq. And so you've started out really well here. Figures from Javon Searles so far: 2.2 overs, none for 11. And those 2 runs, or those 2 overs front, bowling overs number overs 2 and 4. So it's well. Squeezing things. Slow through the air that time and whip to mid wicket. Coming back for the second. That's a good piece of running. And throw coming in from the deep. That is Akarshit Gomel coming in off of the boundary, but not able to prevent 2 runs. So welcome runs here for the Lightning. Now, you're going to have to be careful. I mentioned earlier that you'd want to see the scorecard continue to turn over. So you have to score, even if you're not hitting boundaries. Your responsibility at this stage, if you're the Lightning, is to just keep the scoreboard ticking. Get something. Maybe you can't get to the 150 that you were looking for, but it's that much more important that you keep scoring. So 2 balls remaining after that dot ball, and we'll see exactly what Javon Searles has in store here for this pair. Pair have just came together when the score was 6-8, so they've now put on 9 runs. Oh, well played, but Nash Kenjige at that backward point area is essentially a wall. If that ball goes in that direction, it's not going to get past. And with 1 ball now remaining in over number 13, believe it or not, just 2 runs coming from the over so far. And now what changes do we make for the last over? Ravindra Prasad, 1 from 1. Bhutan, 13 from 19. Now the bowler, or the fielder down at deep. Square leg is brought inside the circle. So there is a square leg just inside square to the right of the umpire. and a short fine leg in the air, up and over. That is a good looking shot. Not the best of deliveries, has to be said. And it goes all the way for 6. That was struck with some power. Didn't realize it off the bat, but it does carry all the way over extra cover for a welcome 6. Bhutan maybe to maybe his responsibility from here to pull things back in the direction where they were several overs ago. Does it with a 6 here. 8 runs coming from the over. At the end of 13, the score is 83 for 5. So Nash Kenjiga is switching ends and now bowling from the southern end, bowling now to Ravindra Prasad. Scoop shot over the head of the keeper. A few runs here, long run, and in fact it goes all the way for 4. So innovation showed here by Ravindra Prasad. Just flipping that one over his shoulder and goes all the way for 4. Beneficial. So the 2 last deliveries have yielded 10 runs. And that's something more along the lines of what you're looking for if you are the Lightning. You've gotten yourselves into a bit of a hole, lost 5 wickets, but you do have the opportunity to score, taking advantage of any opportunities that there are. So you can be innovative and you can get scoop shots that go away for 4. This one is down the leg side. We'll wait to see exactly what the signal is as they get 1 run. Now there's the signal by umpire Everton Brooks. So that is a leg by. First leg by for the day. Relatively well bowled match so far, by the way. Just 3 extras, 2 of which were wides in Calvin Savage's first over, along with that leg by. Good delivery this time. Spinning past the outer edge, going through into the gloves of Hamza Tariq. Down now to the last 39 balls. 39 balls and 88 runs on the board. Ooh, tosses this one up, wanting to offer a teaser, a tempter to Ravindra Prasad, choosing to not go for it. So 2 balls remaining. I suspect if he gets the same ball again, he may try to do something different. Off the back foot, tries to pierce that gap in the offside, just a thick under edge. So even with the scoop shot that went for 4, only 5 runs from the definitely bowls very well. And this is going to be a single. Oh, good running in the end. So, productive over, another one. 6 runs coming from it. Scores 89 for 5. So Calvin Savage, the captain, bowled 2 economical overs earlier on and is now to the point where he's coming back in, replacing Javon Searles, who has 1 over left. Here's Calvin Savage to start his 3rd over. Oh, goes past the outside edge. Very full, much fuller length than normally you'll see Calvin Savage bowl. But I could see here, I mentioned that he was carrying a little bit of a niggle coming in, but I think if I said earlier that he was about 80%, he looks a little fitter than that and looks like he's bowling with his normal aggression, which is what you like to see. He's a very, very handy bowler. Played in the major leagues this past year. They may want to here coming back for the second, and they'll get it easily. That's good work, making sure that they pick up any or take advantage of any scoring opportunities. You're not quite at desperation stage yet in terms of running out of balls, but 34 balls remaining. You have, if you continue scoring at the rate of around 6.35 and over, you'll only be at 127. I think you'll need more than that. So pay attention to how they click through the gears and get a more competitive total on the board. Worked off the hip, short fine leg. In fact, this may be leg buys. It sounded like that ball thudded into. Nope, no leg by. Not signaled anyway by umpire Gondolicker. He does signal the leg by. My apologies. So that's what I get for taking my eyes off the play. So leg by. Halfway through the over. Down to the last 33 balls. Jesse Bhutan, 22 from 26. Ravindra Prasad, 5 from 3. So those are your combatants in the middle looking to take the attack to Calvin Savage. That will not be easy. Deep fine leg and backward square leg in position. So short ball is always on the cards. Oh, looking to work that one. Look for the scoop shot. Oh, look at Calvin Savage. You'd never know that he was carrying a niggle. Throwing himself around on the ground. Good work on his part. And it's always good to set the example from the top if you're the captain, because that drags your teammates on with you. 2 balls remaining here in over 15. 4 runs already from the over, but goodness, you've done well so far. And we'll see how close you get toward respectability. My sense is that the Lightning will feel that they have to push on, have to keep scoring runs, but it will not be easy with this pair at the wicket or with this pair with the ball in hand. Calvin Savage into his 3rd over, so only has 1 more after this. We'll look at where the other overs might come from. This is a single. That is Noshken Jiget. And I would suspect that Noshken Jiget would bowl this next over, and he's going to be, you would think, finished, because you typically want your pacers to be bowling the death overs. Noshken Jiget, very smart. He can bowl anywhere in the match that you let him or that you ask him to, but I think the preference is going to be for the pacers to finish things off. So we're almost at the point where we're at the end of the innings, 15 overs. So we'll look at where the other 5 might come from in a minute. Looking to cut this one away, missing out, and that's a dot ball. Another good over from Calvin Savage. That is the end of 15. Last 5 coming up, 94 for 5. Back at the Paramvere Sports Complex in Atlanta, Georgia for the Atlanta Open 2023. And as I suspected, Noshken Jiget has the ball in hand. What a brilliant strike. First ball, though, hammered away through extra cover, wide of the fielder down here. Sonny Patel not able to get close to it, and it goes away for 4. So that's a good positive start. the intent being shown here by Jesse Bhutan. I think, in fact, that is Ravinder Prasad. A firm strike. And in fact, now they'll be looking to plug this exact gap. So Sunny Patel goes a little bit straighter. And an extra cover is in position now. That's swept away around the corner. Calvin Savage there. It should just be one run. So a good start to the over. 5 runs from the first 2 balls. And we'll see exactly where we end up here. My sense is that this pair starting to maybe be not quite as aggressive. In fact, speaking of not as aggressive, this is pulled into the gap. That's going to be 4. So looking to go big. I think getting a thick inside edge, so not going exactly where he was looking to play that shot. But he's still 4 for it. After in run number 16. This is over being bowled by Nosh Kenjige. And we'll see now the score 103, by the way, so we're certainly ticking through the gears in the air, working it past the bowler himself down the ground for a single. Now remaining over number 16. So you still have another 4 to go. So Pankaj Rao has 2. You would think that he would bowl maybe 17 and 19. Javon Searles has 1. Maybe he bowls that 1, and then Calvin Savage would bowl the other. So my sense is that those would be the bowlers to bowl the rest of the way, in some order. Nosh Kenjige sprinting after this one. You don't want to take on his arm. He's a brilliant, brilliant fielder. And that should be just 1 ball remaining now here in over number 16. 11 runs already from the over. And based on the fact that you have, as of this stage, 25 balls remaining, even with 5 wickets down, you can anticipate that this pair will be more aggressive going towards the back end of this innings. So Nosh Kenjige with ball in hand. In the air. After it is a long run, and it lands in between Calvin Savage and the fielder running from short third. That will be Pankaj Rao. And they'll get a single. So fortuitous end to the over. Gets that top edge. Over cost them 12 runs. The most expensive over that Nosh Kenjige has bowled today. 12 runs coming from it. But his figures overall are very respectable. 4 overs, 1 for 22. So you'll take that from your spinner. Economy rate of 5.5 is nothing to sneeze at. So last 4 overs coming up. 106 for 5. Calvin Savage about to bowl his last over, the 17th of the innings. My sense would be that Pankaj Rao would bowl 18 and 20. Worked off the hip. First delivery, that's all they'll get is 1. Rashil Ugarkar at deep backward square leg to make sure that that is all the damage that will happen. 107 for 5. You're at the last 23 balls. Scoring rate has picked up. The scoring rate is now 6.62. That translates to 132. To get to 150, you'll need to be somewhere around 9 and over. Drilled straight down the ground. Diving attempt. Oh, look at that work by the fielder down there at long on, but not able to prevent it from going to the boundary. Great effort, but ultimately futile. So that goes away for 4. And this partnership is now building. They came together when the score was 68. So they've now put together 43 runs. 111 for 5 is what the score is at this stage. So 43 runs represent the largest partnership of the match so far. And pay attention to this pair because they're starting to get settled. Jesse Bhutan, 29 from 31. Ravindra Prasad, 13 from 9. In fact, Jesse Bhutan is now 33 from 32 with 3 fours and a 6. So that partnership continuing to build. And let's see exactly where we end up. Field changes as long on and long off are in position. You need those two definitely at this stage of the innings. And the deep square leg, a backward square leg, and a sweeper on the offside. Looking to run this down behind square. Not a bad option because deep third is not in position. The man behind point on the offside is at short third. And so not a bad option to run the ball in that direction. But ultimately, just a dot ball. Calvin Savage, again, bowling well. Came in carrying a bit of a niggle, but he's bowled excellently. His figures so far, 3.3 overs, 1 for 18. In the air, and where is this gone? Caught. That's a great catch by Rushilu Garkar. Very well played, but very well caught. It was flicked away on the hips, probably a lot straighter than Calvin Savage would have been comfortable with. And it was struck firmly, but Rushilu Garkar judging it well and getting down low to complete what's a great, great catch. So that is wicket number 6. The partnership is broken. 43 runs for that partnership. But the fact that you've dismissed the man who's been the chief destroyer so far, Jesse Bhutan, is something that you'll be very happy with. Looking at that replay again. Too straight, really, by Calvin Savage, but he does get away with it. Flicked away off the hips and straight to Rushilu Garkar at deep backward square leg. So, 111 for 6. The scoring rate, with Halloween coming up, the scoring rate is 666. And now a new batter coming in to join Ravindra Prasad, who now becomes the senior player, Junaid Siddiqui. Down to the last 20 balls. So a successful reintroduction to the attack for the captain. We'll see how well they go from here. But my sense is that under these circumstances, you'll take anything that you can get in terms of a benefit. Jesse Bhutan dismissed. Now Junaid Siddiqui will be facing up to a rampant Calvin Savage. Right arm over the wicket. Here he is. Short ball. Fended into the offside, into the leg side rather, for a single. And now much will depend on Ravindra Prasad. To the extent that you only have another 19 balls remaining, this is exactly what you want if you are the Raiders. You want to have the batters coming in at this stage. You don't want anyone set to carry on the rest of the way. Prasad facing up to the last delivery. Advancing down the wicket and skying one. The captain is after it. Does he get there? Whoa, he almost made a spectacular catch. Oh my goodness. That was a run of about 30 yards. Diving attempt. Trying to catch that over his shoulder. Not able to pull it off. That was a spectacular attempt though. So one run closes things out in over number 17. 3 more to go. The score is 113 for 6. So down to the last 3 overs. I mentioned that it might be Pankaj Rao who bowls 18 and 20. He's definitely going to bowl 18, has the ball in hand now. And this is his 3rd over. So if Calvin Savage chose to do so, he could certainly have him bowl those 2. And that leaves 1 more over to be bowled. And I would suspect that that would be Javon Searles, who comes back to bowl his last over in over number 19. Prasad is on strike. And here is the first ball by Pankaj Rao. Worked into the leg side. They may want 2 here. Coming back for the second. The throw coming into the keeper's end. Not a very good one. And they get 2. So that's good urge. Knowing that you need as many runs as possible. 2 runs coming from the first ball here in over number 18. So you're certainly looking to push on toward what, again, is in all likelihood a respectable total of about 150. 150 may be just out of reach, though, because you'll have to go 12 and over from here to get to 149. Similar delivery. Is it going to be a similar result? No, this time they don't go for the second run. And now that brings Junaid Siddiqui on strike. Siddiqui has faced 1 ball. He scored 1 run. Pankaj Rao, 3.2 overs so far. Make that 2.2 overs, 1 for 14. Captain Calvin Savage with a brilliant over. 2 for 20 are his figures from his 4 overs bowled. And a really good start with the ball again for somebody who came in carrying a bit of a niggle. Came through with flying colors and threw himself around in the field, so that's a good thing. Lofted down the ground. That's not going to be dropped in 100 years by Nitish Kumar. Said it earlier, one of the safest pairs of hands anywhere on the field. Lofting this one straight into the hands of Nitish Kumar. And Junaid Siddiqui, unfortunately for the Atlanta Lightning, is dismissed. Pretty straightforward catch, chipped into the air. Not much power in the shot. And you're not going to get most cricketers to drop that type of catch. But again, not in the least Nitish Kumar. And under no circumstances would he ever drop that. One of the safest pair of hands that you'll see anywhere on the cricket field. So, 7 down. 116 for 7. So the partnership that they just put on was worth a handful of runs. Just 4 runs was that partnership. And now with only another 15 balls remaining in this innings, that puts you even further away from potential respectability. So you're struggling a little bit here if you're the Lightning. The new batter is going to be taking strike. Here is Pankaj Rao. Good ball, goes past him. Slower delivered through the air and not able to get anything on it. New bowler is Abdullah Quadri. New batter, my apologies. Abdullah Quadri, right arm, a right-handed batter. And looking to make sure that he makes something happen, because you're at the point of the innings where More and more opportunities are flying away. Inside edge onto the pad. He'll get one. Do they want two? No. That is Nushkenji get down there. Again, you're not going to run on that arm. And now with one ball to go, over number 18 has only conceded 4 runs, and you've taken a wicket. So great bowling here by Pankaj Rao. And I certainly think that he would have earned the opportunity to score or to bowl over number 20. What is done with over 19 is remains to be seen. But here's the last ball here in over number 18. And this is slapped to mid-wicket for a single. Great over. 5 runs coming from that over. At the end of 18, the score is 118 for 7. So over number 19 about to be bowled, and all of a sudden the subject of food has come up here in the commentators area. By the way, if you are at the field, check out Miss Beverly's Jamaican food in the trailer. She has absolutely wonderful meals available for you. Coming back for 2 here. Strong throw, not going to be in line. And you get those 2 runs. Miss Beverly is not paying me to say this, but I happened to have some of Miss Beverly's food yesterday, and I will tell you, yes, number 1, I'm Jamaican, but number 2, I'm a connoisseur of good food. Whether or not you like Jamaican food specifically, the food itself is just spectacular. So go to the top of the hill and look for the trailer with the Jamaican food in it. Talk to Miss Beverly, she will get you taken care of. Okay, so 2 runs from that first ball, so now you're down to the last 11. And it is, in fact, Javon Searles who comes back in to bowl his last over. Full down the leg side. That's going to be wide. Tell you what, he's lucky that there was no bat on that, because that easily is the type of delivery that would have run away for runs. Javon Searles, right arm pace bowler, gets the line wrong on that occasion. I see what he was looking for the York. Shortest, thick edge, it's going to the boundary and in fact get there. So the previous delivery was the Yorker, missed on his line, going down the leg side. This next one is a bouncer, and he probably left this one a little too far outside the line of off. And the attempted pull was just met with a top edge, that top edge flying down to deep third. So I don't know that you want to bowl a bouncer with short third inside the boundary, because that limits your ability to be defensive. Lofted down the ground, and that's just going to be a single. So productive over so far for the Lightning. 8 runs coming from it with 3 still to come. Score now up to 126. So maybe you just have an outside shot of getting something close to 150. 150 actually would be a little effective. 9 balls to go. I don't know that you get that far, but I think you'll be looking at something in the range of about 140, 142 maybe. Oh, steps across his crease, looking to work this down into the deep, just gets the Q end of the bat, and the ball trickles to short fine leg. That is Sonny Patel in that position. He'll get a single, but now you're down to 8 balls. So each single you treat as gold if you are the Raiders, because easily if they're looking to score big, the Lightning keeping them to singles is a really good thing. Yorker length and looking for the scoop shot. Not a bad option necessarily with fine leg inside the circle. But obviously it has to come off. If you don't play it, then essentially it just becomes a dot ball, and that's not going to be something that you want at this stage. Scoop shots, you've seen more and more recently, obviously. When they come off, they look spectacular. If they don't come off, then you can see dot balls, which is not what you want. Works this into the leg side. I think they'll have to come back for two. Good running. Immediately sprinting back for that second run. That's good running by Abdullah Quadri. And you'll take those two runs, a productive over again. So 11 coming from over number 19. 6 to go, 126 balls to go, 129 for 7. Last 6 balls, and just as suspected, Kajrao is bowling the last over. So 20 to go. 20. We're in the 20th over. 6 to go. Where do you end up here? 10 runs will get you to 139. I would think that's where you'd be targeting. Pankaj Rao's figures so far. 3 overs, 2 for 16, bowled an excellent 18th over. Short and pulled away. Looking to go, in fact, they'll steal a bye. That's good awareness. You need runs by any way possible. So Ravindra Prasad taking off running from the non-strikers, and a suicidal run, obviously, by definition, because the keeper collected it without the ball having been played. So he would have been up by some distance, been hit. But those are the chances that you take in the last over where you absolutely need runs of any flavor. Pulled into the 2. Nope, no way to come for 2 there. Very alert that time is Nitish Kumar, and he definitely saves you. So good bowling so far. 2 balls, which was off the bat. And now you're at the stage where 4 balls remaining. You have that bye again. I don't think it will work this time. Hamza Tariq has already shown an ability to hit from behind the stumps. You don't want to keep taking on that arm. Last 3 balls with 2 from the over so far. So the 19th or the 18th over was bowled by Pankaj Rao. He only conceded 5 runs and took a wicket. Now into the 3 balls left. 20th, he's conceded 2 runs. So excellent death bowling here by Pankaj Rao. This is down the leg side again. Oh, man. Almost an instant replay of the dismissal earlier on. Good work by Tariq. Wide ball down the leg side though, so that concedes an extra ball and you'll get an extra run. Still 3 balls remaining, 3 runs already from the over, but the line. So that brings Ravindra Prasad back on strike. 28 from 19 with 3 fours for him, and he would want to get bat to ball here. Powered into the deep, but there's a man out there. Mid wicket, simple stop, and just a single there. 2 balls remaining, and a fantastic over continues from Pankaj Rao. 133 runs. I think you're going to end up short of a few runs here if you're the Lightning. Of course, anything can happen when the chasing side is batting, but again, I suspect that conditions are better for batting right now than they were earlier in the match. Short, powered away. That's going to be 6, or is it? Yep, goes all the way for 6. So Pankaj Rao bowling well, bowling full, choosing to go short this time. That would be the option. Hitters on strike. A clean strike that time by Ravindra Prasad. And he gets all of it to mid wicket. So 139. So that allows you to concede probably more runs than you were looking to concede. And he was bowling very well. Now 1 ball remaining, 10 from that 6. Here is the last delivery. Full. And he's wrapped on the pad. I believe this is going to be a leg by. Oh, yep, there's the leg by. Run through up to the number of 1. Tremendously intimidating score by any means, but runs on the board is always something to consider. So probably slightly far. We'll take a look at the scorecard. Lahiri Melantha batted well up top, 41 from 29. Unmukhchand 4 from 6. Sagar Patel run out. That brilliant work by Hamza Tariq, 1 from 3. Raymond Reifer 13 from 17. Jesse Bhutan 33 from 34. Dexter Sween did not score from 3 balls faced. Ravindra Prasad 34 from 22 drags them toward respectability at the end of the innings. Junaid Siddiqui 1, Abdullah Quadri 2. For the bowlers, the best of the bowlers for me was Calvin Savage. 4 overs, 2 for 20 from his spell with an economy rate of 5. Pankaj Rao bowled well enough, but maybe got taken for a few more runs than he'd have been covered with at the end of the innings. 2 for 25. Javon Searles, none for 30. Gajanan Singh, 2 overs, cost 26, the second of which was 20. Nosh Kenjige, 4 overs, 1 for 22. Rashilu Garkar, 2 overs, 1 for 13. So that is the end of the innings. In about a short break, probably a 10 or so minute break, we'll come back to see if the Raiders overhaul a total or target of 141. Signing off for the moment here from the Paramount Sports Complex in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be back shortly. So back for the chase. The Raiders will be looking to overhaul a small total of 140. In other words, the target is 141 to win. And it's never going to be easy. And the bowler that you're going up against is one of the bowlers who has excelled over the years representing the United States of America. The opening fast bowler, left armer, Saurabh Netravalkar. Brilliant bowling. He is a really skillful bowler, not express by any means, but does just enough nagging line and length accuracy. That angle, left arm over the wicket, slanting it across the right-handers. He will be a handful. Opening batters are going to be Akarshit Goel, who is a tremendous striker of the ball. And he's joined at the opposite end, currently at the non-strikers end, Nitish Kumar. Boy, from memory, Saurabh Netravalkar had the best bowling effort in the entire Major League season this past July. The inaugural Major League season took some 6 wickets in a match, including a hat trick. So tremendous bowler. Outside the lineup off. That's good carry. The ball carrying through to wicketkeeper Lahiru Melantha, who again batted really well when he batted earlier. Opened the innings with Unmukt Chand. Scored some runs. One from 29, Lahiru Melantha, 3 4s and 2 6s. Now he's behind the stumps, looking to see if he does as well as he did in front of the stumps. 3 dot balls to start with, make that 4. Good bowling effort here from Saurabh Netravalkar, exactly what you'd expect from a skillful senior bowler. And you are now chasing a total that, as I mentioned, I suspect is going to be easier to chase batting second. What I mean by that is the conditions are better, the outfield is drier, the ball will move more quickly across the grass. And we'll see how quickly we can get through these opening overs. Good ball again, though. That line is right bang on target. And he's not able to get any bat on those last couple. So 1 ball remaining before you might get to the point where you have a maiden over to start the chase. That's always a great way to start bowling. If you're looking to defend a total that is undercooked, it is your responsibility to take as many chances as possible to apply pressure. And 5 delivers bowled so far. Confirm the number of balls. I believe this is the last, either the last or second to last. Down the leg side though. And either way, it's going to go down as the first run on the board for this over. Your target is 141. You need to score from here at the rate of 7.3 runs and over. 7.3 and over translates to you winning this game probably in understated fashion. What I mean by that is the opportunity is going to be there to score runs more so in the second innings. And so if you struggle to get to 140, I would have to think that presents a challenge for you. So in effect, it's 2 balls remaining in the over because of that wide off the back foot, and this does get through. So the first run's off the bat. There should just be a couple. Long run. Raymond Reifer is the man who comes all the way from backward point. Strong throw coming to that backward point area. So just last ball now. So the first 2 runs off the bat. Again, you're looking for somewhere around 130. Make that 1 ball now. So the first 2 runs off the bat. Again, you're looking for somewhere around 130. Make that 141 as a target. So you need another 138 runs in 115 balls. Relatively straightforward task for modern one-day or T20 cricket. And it is going to be just a touch of difficulty, you would think. 10 wickets in hand, scoring at 7.2 runs and over should not be that difficult. Now, the ease with which that ball was played through the offside immediately brings Saurav Netravalkar around the wicket. I think his sense is that Akarshit Gomel prefers to play on the offside than the leg side, so he's going to go around the wicket to try to force him to play on the leg side, and then Unmuk Chand goes in to short mid-wicket for that lofted shot in that area. But this is just dropped down behind point for a single down to deep third. Good over to start with, 4 runs coming from it. After 1, the score is 4 without loss. Dexter Sween to share the new ball, bowling from the southern end of the ground. He will be bowling now to Akarshit Gomel, who interestingly has faced all the deliveries in this match so far. Now coming in. Now just waiting to have a little bit of so a bit of a delay where the bowler, well, the advertising boards that are directly behind the bowler and directly in line with the sight of the batters, one of those signs is white. So you essentially are helping the bowler when you do that. And so the umpire, Everton Brooks, rightly suggesting to the workers who are putting those signs up that they be moved further out of the sight of the bowler's arm. And you're, of course, as a batter, you're absolutely within your rights to make sure that everything is clear from your line of sight. So a bit of a delay while that's fixed. So Dexter Sween, once again, just taking the new ball. 4 runs are on the board. So you need another 137. And you need them in 114 balls. So once again, 10 wickets in hand. Ordinarily, that would not be a very difficult chase. Slash and a miss outside. So for those of you who do not know, there are very, very many specific regulations or customs associated with cricket. If you are not aware of those customs, you can sometimes get yelled at, and you clearly might take offense to it, because the worker who is now moving the signs was walking right across in front of the sight screen, and he just got yelled at, and he was not happy that he was yelled at, so he yelled back. That's in the air. It's going to fall short. Oh my goodness. In the air for a long time. Abdullah Quadri coming in from mid-on may just have thought that he had a chance there, but it fell short in front of him. So I mentioned the workers who are working on the signs clearly do not know much about the sport of cricket, and he's definitely lofted down the ground. I'll get back to that thought shortly. This may go all the way. Yep, goes all the way for 6. Big strike right down the middle, and the first 6 struck by Akarshit Gomel. That is a lovely looking shot, flying well and truly over the top. He goes away for 6. So the last thought on the workers. So if you're ever at a cricket match and you are walking around the field, if you happen to be walking on the side of the field where the bowler is bowling from, in other words, if you are between the bowler and the side screen, you essentially have to allow for the bowler to bowl unimpeded. In other words, you cannot let the batter see you in that area because that obstructs the view of the batter, and that's always a good thing to not have that happen because nobody is satisfied when you do that. Anyway, single now to deep third, and for the first time Nitish Kumar will take strike in this match. Nitish Kumar, tremendous batter, led the batting for the Lone Star Athletics in the Central Division of the minor leagues this past season. At the top of the table, exactly in that spot. And he's going to be now partnering with Akarshit Gomel, who coincidentally led the batting for the Dallas Exploria Giants in that same division, the Central Division of the minor leagues. Worked into the leg side for at least a couple, and in fact it goes all the way for 4. So Dexter Sween is being treated relatively rudely here to start this over. 4 balls bowled, 11 runs from the over so far. And I'll tell you what, off to 15 without loss with 2 balls to come. You're chasing down 140, make that 141. But you're conceding runs right now at the rate of 9 and over. The required rate is only 6.87, so you're scoring much more quickly than you're required to at this stage. So Sweeney is going to have to do something to pull things back. Good sharp delivery that time. A little straighter, a little bit on the pads, and 1 ball remaining. No, in fact, that's the end of the over. So good way to close the over. Was expensive in the first few, but ends up pulling things back from that last ball. So 15 without loss after 2. An expensive second over follows up the first over by Saurabh Netravalkar. So Netravalkar will be asked, as he's been doing so many times for so many years, to bowl an economical over. And if he takes a wicket, all the better. Lofted down the ground, catchable, and simple catch taken at mid-on. So he does exactly that, Netravalkar. Not a good shot, has to be said, by Akarshit Gomel. And only ends up lofting a pretty simple catch to mid-on. That is Sween himself, who may consider himself lucky because the man who was the chief destroyer in the first over that he bowled is the one who he catches right here. And so that is the end of Akarshit Gomel. Oh, my apologies. That's actually Nitish Kumar who's on strike. And so, no, it is Akarshit Gomel. Apologies. So the scoreboard not exactly accurate. There you see on the replay. He knew exactly from the second that he played that shot that he was done for. Pretty simple catch. Effectively catching practice to mid-on. And that's the end of Akarshit Gomel. 10 from 11 balls faced. And he goes after getting them off to a decent start. But I think he would have wanted to stay there a lot longer. And so upon the fall of that first wicket, it is now going to be Sujith Gowda on strike. Sujith Gowda now joining Nitish Kumar in the middle. Both of these batters featuring again in the minor league system. In the Central Division, Nitish Kumar featuring for the Lone Star Athletics. Sujith Gowda with the champion Dallas Mustangs. And he will be now first facing up to Saurabh Netravalkar, who again is just a tremendous bowler. Has performed excellently over a number of years for the U.S., for the various minor league teams with which he's played, and now in the franchise-based tournaments all around the country. One of the more likable guys that you'll also meet as well. Bang on target. So the first over went for 4. 3 runs off the bat and a wide. Second over went for 11. And the third over so far, 2 deliveries, no runs scored yet, and a wicket taken. So good comeback. Sujit Gowda facing up to Saurabh Netravalkar. Netravalkar always going to be one of those bowlers who asks the right questions of the batter. And watch Unmukh Chand at first slip, because that ball is slanting across the right-hander. And in fact, I said first slip. He's at a wide slip position, probably about a third slip. But he's in that position because of that ball slanting across the right-hander. Saurabh Netravalkar very skillful and able to deliver those balls from over the wicket to effectuate that angle that tends to trouble the right-handed batters, particularly a batter who's just new to the crease. Oh, a split second there. Sujit Gowda wanted to wind up and play a big shot, but he checked it at the very last second, and essentially it came off of the pad. So that would have disturbed him just a touch. Mind you, you're not chasing a very large total, so it's going to be something that you need to do to pull things back to whatever extent possible. You can afford to absorb a few dots, because the total that you're chasing is 141. It's not 241, so you don't necessarily have to go hell for leather immediately. And a good bowler is into his craft. You sometimes just need to see him off. That's another good delivery on the line of off stump, going past the outside edge. So on the verge of bowling a wicket maiden here, Saurabh Netravalkar. Again, his first over went for 4 runs and is just short of finishing up what would be an excellent second over. 1 wicket has already fallen and 1 ball remaining with no runs yet scored from it. So does Sujit Gowda look for a release shot, or does he just accept that this has been a good over and take a chances at the next one? Wicket maiden it is. Defended into the offside for no run. What a great over. 3 up. The score is 15 for 1. Fourth over about to be bowled. Raymond Reifer has the ball in hand, bowling from the southern end of the ground. Left arm, medium pacer. So almost a duplication of what you're getting from Netravalkar. And he's very good from that. Ooh, this is flicked in the air. Catchable, landing in front of the man at deep backward square leg. Reifer getting that ball maybe just a touch straighter than he would have liked. He's going to want to look for that off-stump line from over the wicket. Clipped away into the air and landing short of that fielder down at deep backward square leg. So starts off with a single. Raymond Reifer, a genuine all-rounder. Saw him bat earlier on. Probably didn't go on as long as he could. And to the extent that he wanted to continue on, will be disappointed that he was dismissed. But he has the opportunity to make up for it with the ball in hand. Now bowling to Nitish Kumar. In fact, now bowling to Sujith Gowda, defended in front of the stumps for no run. Reifer again from the island of Barbados, representing the West Indies for a number of years now, and also often on these tournaments that you see throughout the country. Good delivery, finds the outside edge, runs down deep to third. That's Netravalkar down there on the boundary. Just a single. So 3 deliveries bowled so far here in over number 4. Reifer with a much more economical over than the one that was bowled by Dexter Sween. Here's Reifer again. Fields on his follow through. So certainly much more economical and doing much better here. So when you're defending a total that is below par, your job is to attempt in any way possible to build pressure. And Reifer's line has been a little straight, so that's why Unmuk Chand has strengthened the onside. He himself now goes into a short fine leg, short mid-wicket position. So 4 on the leg side, and that's hammered through the offside. So you take the fielder away from that offside, but then Reifer bowls outside off, and that results in a couple of runs played through the offside. Didn't have the legs to get to the boundary, but a couple more runs, and you'll accept these runs here if you are. The Raiders. Raymond Reifer now with 2 balls remaining here. In fact, 1 ball remaining in this over. In the air, catchable. No, it's going to be over the head of the fielder running back. That's Sween, and he can only watch it go into the boundary at deep extra cover. So the over started out well, but ends up conceding a boundary, lofting it over the head of that fielder. Again, Sween running back from mid-off, not able to get to it. He concedes the boundary. So that is a 4 to end things here in over number 4. 8 from the over total. The score is 23 for 1. Netravalkar into bowl his 3rd. Sliced away past the keeper. It's going to go down to deep 3rd. That's Fanis Simajri on the boundary. Saurabh Netravalkar asking the right questions. Finds the edge. And just 1 run from that delivery. But again, genuine edge. Netravalkar once again with that angle. Left arm over the wicket to the right-hander, creating that angle that goes across the right-hander, and that's where you find the edge of the bat. So you can either curl it back in with an in-swinger, or you certainly can find that edge from outside the from that line of off stump. Now look at this. Unmuk Chand was not in position at slip to start the over, but after that delivery, he comes in to that slip position. So certainly asking the right questions, Saurabh Netravalkar, and Unmuk Chand is banking on there being another edge in that area, which is why he put himself back in the slip. Oh, Swing and a miss. And that is Nitish Kumar looking to get going. So far, 11 from 6. So scoring relatively quickly in terms of his strike rate. But Netravalkar is not an easy bowler to attack. And that big swipe, aiming for that area in deep mid wicket. There is one man square legs. On the leg side, if you wanted to hit big, that's where he was aiming, but no one out there. Played into the offside. A dot. So 3 deliveries bowled. Netravalkar's really just brilliant bowling so far from him. His figures 2.3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 5. So an economy rate of 2 and over. Bowling inside the power play. This is tremendous bowling. Now making the switch, going around the wicket again. So changing things up. The thinking bowl. Now, Panisamadri had been back on of 3 left arm fast bowlers in this attack. Netravalkar and Reifer. When Panisamadri comes in, you will see another good thinking left arm fast bowler. Good trio there. Lofted in the air. That's going to go over the head of that fielder running back from extra cover. They'll get a couple more. That is Ravindra Prasad, who is standing there at extra cover, not really immediately reacting to that ball. And that might have just given the opportunity for the batting side to get a couple. Nitish Kumar now up to 13 from 9 balls faced with 2 boundaries. Now 2 balls remaining here in over number 5. Netravalkar again bowling really well, but my sense is that they may feel the need to see him off, or they may crack him over the top of extra cover for 4. That is a good looking strike by Nitish Kumar, offering just a bit of width. Netravalkar not quite getting that ball on that 4th stump line. That was a little wider than 4th stump line, and it gave the opportunity to Nitish Kumar to open up his shoulders and go big over the offside. So welcome runs. This is the most expensive over that Netravalkar has bowled so far. 7 from it. Doesn't sound like much, but when you take your best bowler for 7 with the required rate at 7, you'd fancy your chances getting the runs off of the other bowlers. So 1 ball remaining now in over number 5. Oh, good delivery. Much better ball. Comes back, kisses the turf, moves away off the pitch into the gloves of Lahiri Melantha. Great ball to end things here in over number 5. At the end of 5, the score is 26 for 1. Make that 30 for 1. So starting the 5th over, make that starting the 6th over, is the last of the 3 pacers that I mentioned, the left arm pacers. Fani Simhadri, brilliant bowler. Don't necessarily think of him as, but what he does is that he changes speeds, he changes angles. He is very, very tricky and led the minor leagues a couple of seasons ago in total wickets. Driven into the offside, no run. Oh, fumbles it. And now they run on the overthrow, something that almost always puts you on the back foot. But back about Fani Simhadri, led the minor leagues in total somewhere around 35 wickets for the season, if I remember correctly. This past season did not take as many wickets, but led the league, or not necessarily led the league, but led his team in economy rate. This is hammered straight down the ground for 4 though. Very good looking shot, maybe getting this one not quite full enough. Was looking for the Yorker, Fani Simhadri, and it's banged down the ground for 4. So Sujith Gowda, been there for a while now, 3 from 9 before that delivery. He's now 4 from, make that 7 from 10. So Simhadri can definitely be somebody who is difficult to score off of. And I think when he gets a loose ball in there, you have to take advantage of it. And look at the subtle changes in his action. Sometimes it can be very difficult to score off of, but oh, look at that one going past, I think, the inside edge of the bat, actually the outside edge of the bat, and going inside of the leg stump. So you never see 2 deliveries the exact same, because he changes things so subtly but so effectively. And so I think you need to continue watching him if you are in the position where Sujith Gowda is right now. 7 from 11 from him, or for him. Playing to the offside, make that the leg side. When Mukchand is standing at that short mid-wicket position. So good couple deliveries after that. The ball that passed, or that got banged down the ground for 4. And now with the 1 ball remaining here in over number 6. Score is 36 for 1. Fani Simhadri looking to close out. And look at this, the keeper is now up to the stumps. Lahir Melantha making sure that Sujith Gowda keeps himself inside the crease. Lofted down the ground for 4 again. Once again, didn't quite get it full enough. Looking for the Yorker. And he left it there in the hitting zone. So Fani Simhadri, a really good bowler, but he got taken for a few runs here in this over. 10 coming from the over at the end of 6. The power play is done, and the score is 40 for 1. So after 3 overs on the trot, a break for Saurabh Netravalkar, and the bowler who replaces him immediately gets hammered away through mid-wicket for 4. Genuine long hop that time bowled, and that's not going to be a length that bothers any one of the bowlers, or any one of the batters rather. This appears to be Bhutan. I want to confirm that as soon as we can, but left arm around the wicket, and this is lofted into the air again, but falls short. Oh my goodness, it falls short of the fielder at deep cover, and then the spin takes it away from him, and they concede another run. So I believe, no, this is Ravindra Prasad left arm around the wicket. First delivery, a long hop, drag down, put away for 4. The second delivery, you would think could have been covered, should have just been a single, but consecutive boundaries to open up over number 7. Once again, your target is undercooked. You're right now needing to go at the rate of 6.8 and over to win from here. So you need wickets. You absolutely need wickets if you are the Lightning. Only 1 wicket taken so far, and that's a single into the offside. So you're halfway through over number 7. Only another 92 runs to go from 81 balls. So you're making good progress toward your target if you are the Raiders. Slow through the air, but again a drag down. This one does go straight to the fielder at cow corner though. So single. 10 runs from the over so far with 2 to come. Reifer Prasad again bowling around the wicket, left arm spin, orthodox spin. So looking to take it away from the 2 right-handed batters. But all that spin does not matter if you bowl the length that is too short. This one is a better length. Pushing this one through a little bit more flatter. And just 1 ball remaining now. So the first 2 balls went for runs. The next 4 after that are much, much better. And that's a dot ball to close things out here in over number 7. 10 from the over. 8 of them came from the first 2 overs. So it closes out well, Prasad. That is the end of 8. The score is 50 for 1. So change in bowling yet again. This is going to be Junaid Siddiqui bowling from the southern end of the ground. 57 overs. So the scoring rate is 7.14 and over, right in line with where you need to be. You need to score from here exactly 7 runs and over to win. 91 from the next 7 or 13 overs. That's a single down the ground to start over number 8. That is bowled by Reifer Prasad. No, make that bowled by Junaid Siddiqui. And once again, you need wickets here. Slammed in the air over extra cover for 4. Gave him width, and it was at a length that allowed him to get under the ball. Those 2 combined always mean scoring opportunities through extra cover, especially if extra cover is wide open. And that's exactly what happened here. You gave the width to Sujit Gowda. He does not need any invitations to play that type of a shot. And he hammers it away for 4. In fact, my apologies, that was Nitish Kumar. 31 from 18 now from Nitish Kumar. 6 boundaries. Sujit Gowda 13 from 15 with 2 boundaries. But this pair can score heavily. And given that they're both starting to settle in, Nitish Kumar opened the batting. 18 balls faced Sujit Gowda coming in at the fall of the early wicket. 13 from 15. But each of them can cash in on anything that is loose. So you're going to have to be much tighter with your lines and your lengths. Better delivery, right on target, no width, and the length is just short of driving length. So that's, if you could replicate that and have that be stock ball, I think that would go very far. Junaid Siddiqui bowling leg spin, looking to turn the ball. Hasn't turned a whole lot, but really you don't need to turn it a whole lot on this pitch. You do get some assistance from the pitch. Down the track, a bit of a mishit. That didn't go exactly where he was looking for it. Raymond Reifer down at the boundary at long on. Helps clean up. So you get the sense that Nitish Kumar wants to get things underway. He's now up to 32 from 19. Make that 32 from 20. Sujit Gowda on strike. Good line and good length. Have him reaching forward for that ball. So one ball remaining now in over number 8. Have to close out strongly here, Junaid Siddiqui. Worked straight down the ground. Reifer again in action. Just a single to close things out here in over number 8. 57 for 1 is the score after 8. Raymond Reifer comes into the attack and immediately is played to backward point for a couple. So this becomes a matter of needing to take wickets from the stage. Absolutely need wickets, because if you continue conceding singles and doubles to a team that is to a batting pair that is well settled, they only need from here 82 runs in the next 71 balls. So you absolutely need to take wickets. Looking big, Sujit Gowda. This one is peeled off the thick inside edge down to mid wicket for a single. But you're not building any pressure, and they're scoring with relative ease. So this pair came together at the score being 15. So the partnership now is worth 45. Short played into the offside, should just be 1. Four runs from Reifer's second over. So far, Reifer has bowled very well, but it's almost to the point where bowling well is not enough. You absolutely need wickets. So as of right now, Raymond Reifer 12 runs from his 1.3. Down the ground, catchable in the air for a long time, but not able to get to it. Sween running to his right. You hear the yell. Look at Raymond Reifer showing a little bit of frustration with Dexter Sween. He thought that he could have put in a better effort, and I think he's reacting to the fact that Sween didn't exactly move off of the ball immediately. In other words, he reacted relatively late to that ball being played in the air. So that's a boundary. That hurts. And you can see the frustration by Reifer, because now just 2 balls remaining. Not exactly sure what the issue is. Umpire Sandeep Gundalekar in a relatively animated conversation with Raymond Reifer. Not sure what that was about. Oh, he's wearing a white. Oh, black band. Not sure why he'd have an issue with a black band. If he's wearing a white band on. Oh, okay. Maybe the umpire is thinking that he should not be allowed to maybe cushion the ball. And looking at the replay here, Reifer in an animated conversation with umpire Gondoliker. In any event, not exactly sure what that was about, but it has been resolved. But a wide immediately afterwards. Now here's the next ball by Reifer. Played into the offside for no run. So just one ball now remaining in over number 9. 9 runs coming from the over so far. And 66 runs on the board, with 1 to come. Mid on. Make that mid off. Direct hit. Wow. Wow. Raymond Reifer is not happy. That direct hit from mid off. Direct hit from mid off. Raymond Reifer probably says a few words that are not appropriate for family TV. And I think he is going to want to make sure that the umpire is in a forgiving mood, because it's the type of thing that could have him end up, unfortunately, on a match report. First, see what happens here. Played into the mid-off area. Pick up and a direct hit. Umpire thinks that is not out, and Raymond Reifer clearly disagrees. And in fact, now you see the umpires talking to each other, so I believe that activity just now would have resulted in Raymond Reifer being sent into the books. Umpires get together. No umpire is going to want to be shouted at, regardless of whether or not you think you have justification. And Raymond Reifer, I think, is going to hear it from the management staff after this game is finished. But it is a measure of the passion with which he plays the game. I think it's going to be up to his captain, Unmukchand, to mention to him in a calmer frame of mind that he should probably not speak to the umpire like that. Anyway, so a single to close things out here in over number 9. Now we're going into 10, and this is going to be a new bowler bowling. In fact, this is Prasad coming back around. Look for the big hit, and this may be leg buys. We'll see the signal here from umpire Everton Brooks. Nope, no signal, so that obviously did come off the bat. So a lot of activity there in that last over. 10 runs coming from it. And Raymond Reifer being a little bit more irritated than he'd be happy with. Dot ball in the meantime, as this is Prasad coming back into the attack. His 2 overs so far. In fact, 1.2 overs have yielded enough for 11. Left arm around the wicket. Worked into the leg side. Should just be 1. And we're almost all the way through over number 10. So you're halfway, almost at the halfway stage of the chase. You're almost at exactly the halfway stage in terms of the number of runs needed. Pulled massively, but right to the fielder in the deep. That's Jesse Bhutan down there on the boundary. And he makes sure that that's just 1 run. So it's almost mathematically impossible to be closer than you are now at the halfway stage. 70 runs is the score, 71 needed. Tossed up, lofted in the air. That may land safely. Netravalkar at deep extra cover, not able to get to it. And 2 more runs to the total. So now you're more than halfway there with the last ball to be bowled before you get to the halfway stage in number of overs. So you're slightly ahead of the game, but the big difference is that you have 9 wickets in hand. This should be catchable. And Unmukhchan is not going to drop this. That is a good catch. Sliced by Nitish Kumar. Not able to make good contact with it. Just off the leading edge in the air. Unmukhchan standing at short extra cover. Takes the catch. So second wicket goes down. 72 for 2. That is the end of over number 10. You're at the halfway stage. You're going to have to start over here if you're Sujith Gowda with a new partner. And a short break. We'll be right back. So we're at the halfway stage. 72 for 2 is the score. 69 runs needed in the next 10 overs. And this is going to be Junaid Siddiqui back into the attack. Leg spinning right-hander bowling now to Sujith Gowda. New batter is Gajanand Singh. It's an interesting move because Gajanand Singh, number one, is aggressive. Has cut away into the deep for a single. So Gajanand Singh is aggressive, and then further to the point, oh, that's a wayward throw, and they concede an extra run. My goodness, that's really loose in the field, and that's not something that you'll be happy with if you're on. But back to Gajanand Singh, very aggressive as a batter, and leg spinner in operation. He's a left-hander, so he can hit big over the leg side. Any amount of turn will be in the direction of the big onside stroke. So something to look or pay attention to there. So the first delivery fired down, or they get a single and they'll end up with a bonus run. Oh, huge swipe and a miss, and that ball thuds into the shoulder of Lahiri Melantha. That was pushed through at pace. So he saves a couple of byes probably, but that would have hurt. That smacks into his shoulder. Vanessa just coming over to make sure that he's none the worse for wear. Next delivery coming up. Junaid Siddiqui to the lefty is not going to be as dangerous as he is to the righty, one thinks. Oh, well bowled. Saw him coming and pull the length back. Sujith Gowda almost caught in no man's land, but ends up just defending this one into the offside for what I believe is a single. In fact, looking to see what the signal is from the umpire. I believe, okay, 2 balls remaining here in over number 11. So pay attention to what Gajanand Singh does here. Again, naturally an aggressive hitter of the ball. And then given the fact that he's going to now face up to a leg spinner, with any turn going into the big stroke on the leg side and a huge gap at cow corner. So look for him to target that area. Oh, this doesn't... In fact, I think he was just trying to run that off the face. Ends up getting a single. So 1 ball remaining there here in over number 11. Good over overall. 4 runs coming from it with 1 ball to come. And Sujith Gowda now back on strike. Sujith Gowda 27 from 28. So scoring at about the rate of a run a ball. Let's see how he does on the last ball. Huge hit in the gap. Oh, just out of reach of Sween running around from long on. And in fact, it goes all the way for 6. So it had been a good over until that stage. Sujit Gowda putting his foot down and making sure that his team gets that much closer to victory. So good strike to end things here in over number 11. 82 for 2 after 11. Ravindra Prasad to continue. Left arm around the wicket. That's pulled into the deep, just a single. So bear in mind with the left armer bowling to Gajanan Singh. Left arm orthodox spin, so turn is into the left-hander. Also with the leggy in operation from the other end, Junaid Siddiqui, that also turns into the left-hander. So all signs point to big hitting in the next several deliveries. Good ball this time though, just played into the offside for no run. Very long way of saying that this game is far from over, but the advantage right now certainly with the chasing side. Off the back foot, so just got to work in this one down to long on. This is Raymond Reifer coming off of the boundary to make sure that no extra runs are conceded. 57 runs are needed in the next 51 balls. So those two numbers keep coming closer and closer together. And that's exactly what you want to have happen if you're the Raiders. Ravindra Prasad. Oh, looking for the big hit that I mentioned. I thought he'd be looking to score heavily off of Ravindra Prasad. Does well enough to keep that ball out of the hitting zone. This time, bat and pad close together, and that ball, I believe, struck bat first before pad. So it's certainly a run. Half-hearted appeal for LBW. Not even responded to by umpire Everton Brooks. So 2 balls remaining in over number 12. Look for Sujit Gowda here. Tossed up, worked into the leg side. I don't think they'll look for 2. Made the turn, but realistically that was always going to be covered. So good over. 4 balls, 4 runs coming from it. Worked into the deep, and that is the end of over number 12. 86 for 2 after 12, another 55 needed in 48 balls. We'll be right back. Siddiqui to continue. Played away in the offside. There should be 2 runs here if they run hard. Coming back easily. A strong throw with Sujit Gowda makes it there easily without much trouble. So Sarb Netravalkar has 1 over left. Dexter Sween has only bowled 1, so he has 3 left. Raymond Reifer 2 left. Panis Samadri has bowled 1. You would think he'd get the majority of the bowling the rest of the way. This is Junaid Siddiqui's 3rd over in progress. So those are the bowlers who have been used so far. I would think that Unmuk Chand would think from this stage on about using Fani Samadri you don't want to leave your best bowlers towards the back end. Only one more over left for Saurabh Netravalkar, so maybe you're saving his one over towards the back end just in case you might have a chance to limit scoring if it becomes relevant later in the match. Tossed up, played in the offside for a single. But the objective here is to limit scoring just overall. So Pani Samadri, I would think, may be the best option for you being able to do that. The spinners are being milked for singles. And singles and doubles at this stage essentially allows you to win the game. Short or going back into his crease and working it on the leg side for a single. So it becomes all too easy from this point. Sween now moving into a position at wide mid-on. In fact, no, apologies, the left-hander on strike, so he's at extra cover. Pushes this through at pace, played into the offside for a single. So they're doing it easy as you like at this stage. Exactly 50 runs are needed to get from the next 44 balls. So the wicket-taking option needs to be explored because you're not going to win this match unless you take wickets. Looking to sweep this one away, and he's given him. Looking down the leg side, Sujith Gowda looking to sweep that away. And umpire Gundalaker was satisfied enough that that would have disturbed the furniture had Sujith Gowda's front pad not gotten in the way. So wicket-taking options is what you wanted, and you've actually gotten one here. So this does help swing things back in your favor. One ball remaining here in over number 13. 91 runs on the board. The score is 91 for 3. So the actual score is 92 for 3. 49 more runs needed from the next 43 balls. But you'll be doing it here with a new batter. And the new batter is the captain himself, Calvin Savage. Calvin Savage legitimately can be considered as a spin or as an all-rounder. So that's certainly something that you'll need to pay attention to. So 92 for 3. End of over number 15. Make that over number 13 means that you need another 49 runs in the next 42 balls. And going back now to Prasad. Oh, I'll tell you what, a big wind up and a swing by Gajanan Singh wanting to target that area over cow corner and not really coming off well with the shot, but he'll get a single. So Calvin Savage now taking strike for the first time. Gajanan Singh, in yesterday's game, the first 3 balls that he faced, he had 12 runs to his name. So far, not quite as fluid. 6 runs make that 5. 6 runs scored off 7 balls faced. That's good work. That is really good work by Calvin Savage. Really, the one who made that was by Gajanan Singh because he recognized the opportunity to go for a quick single there and call his captain through for that run, running to the danger end Gajanan Singh, and was able to pick up and make sure that nothing happened that they did not want to happen. Slow through the air, down the leg side. I'll tell you what, that was almost a stumping opportunity because that ball turned and missed the inside edge. Luckily for Gajanan Singh, he was not out of his crease. And now the next delivery is slammed in the air, straight down the throat of that fielder at corner. So Gajanan Singh always going to want to take on the bowler, particularly with the ball turning into him, committing the error of not quite getting underneath this one. And Sagar Patel looks it straight into his hands. Good catch taken chest high, about 5 yards in from the rope. And what do you know? Another wicket falls. So the only way you win this match is if you take wickets, if you are the Lightning, and you've done exactly that so far. And after the end of, in fact, this end of the partnership worth only 3 runs as it is hit straight down the throat of the fielder Sagar Patel. So new batter coming to the crease now. So that's the end of Gajanan Singh. Calvin Savage is being joined at the wicket. And just a bit of a wobble. This is Hamza Tariq, former Canadian international. And he's going to have to make sure that he keeps his wits about him. It's the stage of an innings where you could potentially have things go one way or the other. So working the ball around and picking up a couple singles sort of gets you back on track. But things can certainly get tighter if you lose any more wickets here. Paddled around the corner for a couple. Nope. In fact, he wanted a couple, did Calvin Savage, but immediately sent back by Hamza Tariq. So 1 ball remaining here in over number 14. Oh, stays a little bit low by Calvin Savage. That's a single down the ground. And that is the end of over number 14. And then the 14, the score is 97 for 4. Struck straight down the ground for 6. First ball of Junaid Siddiqui's last over is met with disdain by Calvin Savage, the captain. He strikes it right back over his head. So looking to make sure that you continue building some type of pressure. A couple of wickets have fallen in the last few overs. But Captain Calvin Savage at the start of the 15th over puts his foot down and goes right back down the ground for 6. Tossed up. 1 bounce, 2 bounces down to long on for a single. Calvin Savage realizing now that you need 37 in 34 balls. And you know that from what his mindset is, you're just going to need to keep scoring. I mentioned earlier, just singles and doubles are good enough for now to swing the momentum back in your favor. But Calvin Savage doing well. And this is in the air, going to land in front of deep mid-wicket, just a single. So it appears as though they've made a determination to attack the leg spinner. Junaid Siddiqui, so far his figures 3.3 overs, 1 for 31. So economy rate of about 9. Slow up down the leg side. That's going to be a wide, and they'll get a bonus run, but my goodness. You're certainly lucky if you're Junaid Siddiqui, because that ball was a ball down the leg side. Really could have been hit anywhere by Hamza Tariq. So 2 bonus runs. We'll see what you get from this extra ball. So, by the way, we didn't acknowledge the 100 when it came up down the wicket, driven down the ground for a single. Hamza Tariq using his feet well that time. 11 from the over so far, an expensive one in the context of this game. 33 runs needed from the next 32 balls. So you're almost at a run a ball from here. And it feels like they're trying to apply the knockout punch to Junaid Siddiqui. See if Calvin Savage continues doing exactly that. Oh, dragging it this time, wanting to go straight, I think. Had he used his feet, he might have been able to get more to the pitch. But it is definitely a single. 12 runs from the over so far. The last ball of Junaid Siddiqui's spell coming up. How does Hamza Tariq handle him? Because you've right now, again, gotten to the point where you need almost to run a ball. 32 runs needed, 31 balls remaining. Do you try to land the knockout blow and go big? Nope. Pulled into the deep. Long run for the fielder. Sliding stop down there. Good piece of work. But with that single, you've actually gotten to the point where you need exactly a run a ball the rest of the way. That's the end of over number 15. 14 runs coming from that over. And the score is 111 for 4. You need 30 runs from 30 balls. We'll be right back. So do or die time for the Lightning. Raymond Reifer with the ball in hand, left arm over the wicket, bowling to Captain Calvin Savage. Oh, good length and good line. Has him playing across the line, looking to play a cross-batted shot. Good bounce on that ball going through to wicketkeeper Lahiro Melantha. So precious dot ball. You want things to swing back in your direction here if you're the Lightning. And the way that you can initially start doing that is by building pressure with a few dot balls, getting to the point now where you can take a wicket, and the wicket of the captain would be a big one. Played off the back foot down to deep third for a single. 29 needed from 28 balls. Raymond Reifer playing with a lot of passion. Saw his reaction earlier on, and I think he may well be in trouble with the match officials because of his reaction, his frustration at not getting a decision, a run-out decision in his favor. Short, quicker, and this goes down to deep point. In fact, deep backward, deep third. Another single. So no pressure really being built as you're in the position now where just singles alone will keep you close, and then the odd boundary here and there will allow you to win the game. And that would be the thinking of the Raiders. As again, they're chasing a total that I thought was always going to be undercooked. And you would think that they're underway. Even with 4 wickets down, you get the sense that they are in the position where they can win this game with relative ease. Raymond Reifer wants to have something to say about that, though. Here he is. Slammed in this direction for 4. So in the air for a while, but struck powerfully and piercing the gap between cover and extra cover. And that is a boundary. So for the first time in a really long time, you need fewer runs than balls in which to get them. Another 27 runs, 27 balls maximum needing to be bowled, but only 24 runs need to be scored. So Reifer taken through extra cover for 4. Here's this next delivery. Hammered straight. That's going to be 4 more. My goodness. So all of a sudden, Calvin Savage is on a mission to have this game finished. Just 20 runs needed now from the last 25. 1 ball to come here in over number 16. Mid on and mid off inside the circle. And the ball driven straight down the ground, piercing the gap between mid on and mid off. Goes away for 4. So 1 ball remaining. In fact, Saurabh Netravalkar now asked to stay down at long off. So mid on and mid off, back to long on and long off. Slow ball sliced in the air. It may land safely. It does land safely. And they'll come back for a second to boot. So good running towards the end. And that is over. 12 runs coming from the over. An expensive one. One that almost ended up with a wicket in that last ball. But ultimately good batting by Calvin Savage. 2 4s, then a 6. He's 19 from 9. Make that 21 from 10. Oh, apologies. 21 from 9. So the score is 123 for 4 after 16. So we're now down to the last 4 overs. Pani Samadri. Ball dropped into the offside for a single. Pani Samadri overs so far. Bowled 1 over. Went for a few more runs than you're accustomed to seeing him going for. Slower through the air. Let's see. I think that came off of the body of the batter. So luckily for him, no extra given. Here's Samadri again. A big swipe and a miss. Once again, keeping the ball just out of the hitting zone. So a single to start the over and a couple of dot balls since then. Reverse sweep and pierces the gap, goes past Sween. Will it have the legs to get to the boundary? It does not. I'll come back for the 3rd. Strong throw comes in and they get 3. So a little bit of innovation showed that time by Hamza Tariq. In fact, that was... Oh, we'll get to that just a second. I think that was, yep, they did run 3. So, here's Samadri. Driven wide of long off. Coming back for the 2nd run. Good running. That is Reifer down there at long off. Sometimes when you're having a less than ideal day in the field, that ball follows you. So 6 runs from the over already, I believe. Yep, with 1 ball to come. And just another 12 to go for victory. Bowled him. Huge drive and a miss. Looking for cow corner that time, Hamza Tariq. And he loses his middle stump as Fani Samadri does what you expect him to do, which is take wickets. A thinking bowler, just rolling the fingers over that one and getting it to get a little bit of bite. In addition, keeping that length just out of the zone. It's a good ball to close things out here in over number 17. 1 wicket from that over, 6 runs score. And the end of over number 17 sees the score at 129 for 5. So Saurabh Netravalkar into bowl his last over. Left arm will be bowling, I believe, over the wicket. Bowling to Calvin Savage. Bit of talking. Field is still being set while Netravalkar was running in, so Calvin Savage rightly pulling away. So again, the last over now to be bowled by Netravalkar. And the 3 overs, 1 for 11 are his figures so far. So this is the last roll of the dice. If you are the Lightning, here's Netravalkar, left arm over the wicket. In the air, and it's going to be caught. On Mukchand, oh, he spilled it, bobbled it for a second, almost put it down. That would have been the most embarrassing drop for him, but eventually settling and taking that one without much fuss. So a wicket goes down, wicket number 6. Once again, you don't win this game without taking wickets. And I think you'll see, just looking at the replay, that was one of the simpler catches that you'd expect to take. So that is the end of Savage, who looked to end things here with a flourish, but ultimately only holding out to his opposite number, Unmukhchand. Oh, right there, caught it and then almost bobbled it, but eventually settling and allowing that ball to rest safely in his hands. So 129 for 6. It's going to be interesting to see what the approach is from here, because you do not have much in the way of batting to come, but you also don't need much in the way of batting to come. So we'll see exactly what this looks like. Netravalkar striking immediately with his first ball upon his reintroduction to the attack. And now this is going to be Javon Searles. So 2 new batters at the crease, Javon Searles and Sonny Patel. Gone. Finds the outside edge or not. Oh my goodness. Umpire Everton Brooks does not believe that it was out. Well, you certainly heard a noise. I think umpire Everton Brooks would have thought that came off of something other than the bat. Certainly heard the noise. But Everton Brooks deciding that this may have just come off of something other than the bat. So It's an interesting, looking at that replay, the ball came off of the inside edge, or past the inside edge of the bat. Oh, now he knocked him over. The very next delivery, looking to play that away on the leg side, Javon Searles, and my goodness, walks across his stumps, and you could probably make the argument that an unofficial hat trick has just occurred, because 3 deliveries in a row that you'd think may have just taken a wicket, one, the middle of which was adjudged to have not been out by umpire Everton Brooks. But the first delivery takes a wicket, the second one effectively is a dot ball, the third wicket, clean ball, Javon Searles walking right across and getting an inside edge onto the stumps. So I don't know that that's the best choice of shots right now, because they have just ended up losing yet another wicket, and we still have 129 runs on the board. I mentioned how well Netravalkar bowls generally, and then how well he bowled in the major leagues in December, where he took 6 wickets in July, where he took 6 wickets, including a hat trick. So comment from our number 1 cricket fan in Prairie View, Texas. Yes, Miss Poole, I do agree, even though I can't repeat what you just said. And here is this next bowler, Netravalkar, with 2 wickets and 3 balls. Played into the offside. Run out opportunity. I'll tell you what, had that been a direct hit on Mukchan, might have asked a question there. They get a single, so that's the first run from the over so far. And all of a sudden, things just got a lot tenser. This great over by Saurabh Netravalkar. 1 run from the over so far. 2 wickets have fallen. You still have 2 balls to go. And this is now Sunny Patel on strike. Nush Kenjige is the one who came in, immediately getting off the mark there. Now watch what happens here with Netravalkar and Sunny Patel. Tip and run, underhanded throw, misses. And those are easy runs that you need to take advantage of anytime you have the opportunity. So Netravalkar has 1 ball remaining in the day. He's going to strain every sinew to make sure that he gets a wicket on this ball. Because getting a wicket here, particularly if he gets the wicket of his USA teammate Saurabh Netravalkar, the USA teammate Nush Kenjige, that will generally set the cat amongst the pigeons, because then you'd be only looking at 2 wickets left. Here's the last ball. Oh, goes past the outside edge into Lahir Melantha's glove. A great over by Saurabh Netravalkar. Only 2 runs from that over, and he takes 2 wickets. But big picture, you still only need 10 runs from the next 12 balls. Do we have a photo finish coming up? 18 up, the score is 131 for 7. Last 2. Pani Samadri with ball in hand. He is a wicket-taking bowler. Played right back to Samadri himself. So now you need 10 from 11. In the air, catchable. And taken. Oh my goodness, this game has just gotten that much closer. Lofted into the air. Saurabh Netravalkar, who has already taken 3 wickets, does well to take this catch. A pretty simple catch, it has to be said, but with the pressure of the moment, sometimes that can get to a fielder. But he makes no mistake, judges it well, looks it straight into his palms at that backward square leg, and all of a sudden, you need 10 from 10, but there's only 2 wickets in hand. Looking at that replay again, the ball lofted into the deep and a pretty straightforward catch taken by Netravalkar, maybe just a little further away from his body than the coaches would like. But he has a safe pair of hands, and forgive me for laughing, but this is let's just say the conversation off air is better than the conversation on it. And so interestingly, look at this. At the non-striker's end is Nush Kenjige. Loads of experience. Can hit big. I don't know that the situation calls for big hitting, but the more important issue is that the batter on strike is the number 10 batter. That is going to be Ravinder Pal Singh. And Fantasy Madri is a wicket-taking bowler. Oh, looking to turn it away on the leg side, a leading edge. The ball pops up into the air. No run, so yet another dot. 3 consecutive dots, the middle of which was a wicket. So Fantasy Madri is doing his best to pull things back here and apply the pressure. Should just be 1. Turn to backward square leg for a single. This is Abdullah Quadri at that backward square leg position. Now this, for me, is an interesting matchup. Fantasy Madri, a thinking bowler, all the experience in the world, but he's now bowling to Nush Kenjige, who relishes these big moments and is a bigger hitter than you'd realize. Quick single. Oh, tries to get a backhanded flip. That didn't go exactly the way that he wanted it to, and the reaction of Unmuk Chand tells you that he did not want Fantasy Madri to have done that. 3 runs coming from the over so far with 1 ball to come. Unmuk Chand, I think, would have preferred that he'd settled for 1, because number 1, you get a bonus run, and then number 2, that puts the batter Nush Kenjige back on strike. Played now into the leg side. I think they're going to want 2. They come back for 2. Throw coming to the keeper's end. And he's gone. 9 wickets are down. Nush Kenjige wanted 2 the entire way. They dug for that second run, and all of a sudden, not quite getting there. Clean pickup. Throw to the keeper's end. The last wicket, or the last ball of that 19th over, results in a wicket. Wicket number 9. And look at this. You're now going into the last over. 7 runs needed. This is getting close. 7 runs needed from the last 6 balls, but you only have 1 wicket remaining. My goodness. This is going to be a really interesting finish. It has to be said, Abdullah Quadri with the great pickup and throw. And coming down now into the last over. Can you believe it? Nush Kenjige is run out. Ravinder Pal Singh is the batter at the non-striker's end. And this, in fact, no. The Ravinder Pal Singh is, in fact, he's going to be on strike. And the new batter is going to be, we'll see who this is shortly. But this is going to be a really photo finish. This is Rushil Ugarko, comes in at the last. He's the last man in. 9 wickets are down. And I'll tell you, one would have never expected that the game would be this close. Raymond Reifer with the ball in hand. So this is going to be a really, really close game. Raymond Reifer with a few exciting moments already in this innings. And he now has the responsibility of keeping the Raiders to 6 or fewer runs. The Raiders, on the other hand, have 6 to go. And here we go, starting the last over. Reifer, left arm over the wicket. A little good-natured there. Good-natured of Raymond Reifer, who's obviously in a better mood now than he was before. Reifer looking to shift things around. Initially started to tell Saurabh Netravalkar to go back on the boundary. Now brings him back inside. They're looking to restrict singles. Runs of any kind from here are what you're looking for. That's bouncing over, maybe a foot over the stumps. Boy, look at this, a dot ball, a precious dot ball to start over number 20. Again, 1 wicket, in fact, no wickets left. This is your last pair at the wicket. A dot ball for the first ball. You need 7 in 5. On strike is Ravinder Pal Singh, and Rishil Agarkar is the non-striker. You need some sort of runs. You cannot afford any dot balls, but you also can't take any chances because there's no one to come after this pair. So this one is coming down to the very end here. It's a photo finish. Here is Reifer again. Slapped into the deep, should just be 1. Here comes a throw coming into the keeper's end. You need 6 from 4. And the new batter, the number 11, the young pace bowler who played in the championship match and whose team won the championship Sunday night in the minor leagues, has an assignment of a different type here. He is now going to be charged with getting a run of any flavor. So the deep mid-wicket is coming inside the circle, coming into short of a squarish mid-wicket. No one in the deep toward cow corner. There's a long on. And here he bowls to Agarkar. Yorker length too far outside the line of off stump, adjudged to be wide. So an extra ball and crucially an extra run. 5 needed from 4. Reifer with a good delivery in terms of the length. That's the type of ball that's hard to score off of, but he gets it too far outside the line of off. So now you need 4. Make that 4 to tie, 5 to win. Get a single, just dropped into the offside. Good looking shot by Agarkar to get his senior partner back on strike. 3 balls remaining, and you need 4 runs. How much will that extra ball cost? Reifer ready at the top of his mark. A few words of wisdom from his captain Unmuk Chand standing at mid-off. How do they attack Ravinder Pal Singh? He's 2 from 4. He has the bat in hand. This one has come down to the wire. Comes down to the last 3 balls. Slow delivery, misses. My goodness, a swing and a miss. That ball easily could have gone on to disturb the furniture, but crucially it is a dot ball. So 4 runs needed from the last 2 balls, and this is going to be again a photo finish. Players who are going to be playing in the next game are all over our shoulder. You might be able to hear them talking. Here's Reifer again. In the air, and that is 6. Launched out of the ground, and they win by the margin of 1 wicket. The Raiders take victory. Cool as you like. Ravinder Pal Singh goes over the top. Reifer had pace on, delivered very quickly, but it was in the slot and drilled over the top of mid-wicket for a huge 6. That is the 4th 6 of the innings, and needless to say, the most important, because that 6 wins you the game. So a game that comes down to the very last, second to last ball is drilled away into the deep. That is 6 runs, and that is a huge strike to close things out. Victory for the Raiders. Always thought that they were in the batting or in favor of winning this game, but they made it very close. In fact, way closer than I would have thought. And that is very much the end of the game. So, quick look at the scorecard to close things out here. Atlanta Lightning 140 for 7. In response, the Raiders Unlimited, Karshit Gomel 10 from 11 with a 6. Nitish Kumar 36 from 25, 6 fours. Sujat 39 from 36 with 3 fours and a 6. Gajanan Singh 6 from 9. Calvin Savage batted well when he was in there. 24 from 14 with 2 fours and a 6, but then a bunch of single-digit scores, and it got very close toward the end. Sana Patel 1. Javon Searles did not score. Nush Kenjige 4. Ravinder Pal Singh with and 8 from 6 with that last delivery going over the ropes for 6. Rachel Ugarkar only faced 1 ball and he got a single. Saurabh Netravalkar bowled very well, 4 overs, 3 for 13. Dexter Sween 1 over, none for 11. Raymond Reifer losing at the end, conceding the 6, 3.5 overs, none for 39. Fani Samadri bowled well, 3 overs, 2 for 20. Ravindra Prasad 4 overs, 2 for 24, and Junaid Siddiqui 4 overs, 1 for 37. What an absolutely scintillating match. Match that you didn't think would have had that much drama comes down to the penultimate delivery. But in the end, the Raiders see it home by the razor-thin margin of 1 wicket. So a quick break for us from here. We'll refresh our palates and then come back with the second game sometime in the next 30 or so minutes. Do join us right here from the fabulous Paramvir Sports Complex in Atlanta.